Hello and welcome, Echo units and NEPA fans. We are here on a Tuesday night to kick off Week 4 action. We have got a great night of play set up for you. 3 matches coming your way from our AAA series. First off will be the Columbus Fire taking on the Charlotte Smoke, followed by the Aspen Sparrows taking on the Frisco Dragons. And then our nightcap tonight, we're looking for the Chattanooga Barracudas to take on the Daytona Tide. Should be a great night of action. Before we get to that, we'll cover some admin though. Let's take a look at our rules for those who aren't familiar with the NEPA format. NEPA does play with a rolling score over 4 8-minute quarters with 1 5-minute halftime and a quick break between quarters. Each team has a timeout available. That's 1 per team per half. You will see 5 players on the screen. Only 4 are allowed in the arena at any given time. That 5th player being a live sub who waits in the spawn area. Overtime is played to a golden goal, and as always, NEPA tolerates 0 toxic or discriminatory behavior. And with that, let me welcome to the screen my main man, Glean. Glean, say hello to the people.
Hello, hello.
Super happy to be joined by Glean tonight. We already introed the matchups that we are going to have this evening. With that, let's take a look at our lineups for this first match. Glean, and you'll tell me what we see. First off, taking a look on the orange side with the Columbus Fire.
I mean, first off, I got to talk about the Columbus Fire coming out absolutely blazing on the 21st of June, just this past week. An 80-piece game dropped by this team, and you know they got to be coming in hot. They're sitting at that 2-1 record right now, and with members like Dark, like Cats, I know that this team is very high scoring, very fast paced, and Brainbot has been up and coming as well. I've seen them play, and they've been fantastic and lights out.
Yeah, lights out indeed, 80 points, nothing to be shied at. I just want to point out to people who haven't had a chance to go back and watch that game, one, it's one that you want to catch. We talked about no toxic kind of behavior. There was nothing toxic about that game. It was just a team playing the game the way it's meant to be played from beginning to end and just able to dominate in that fashion. So super, super impressive performance if you want to go back and catch that one. With that, let's take a look at our Charlotte Smoke representing the blue side tonight.
Absolutely. This team's sitting at a 1-2 record right now. Nothing to laugh at or to scoff at because they are still in the middle of that pack right now with members like Whoosh, like Link One, like Caption. Link One and Caption being old members of the community that have played for a long period of time, so bringing in a lot of experience. Great players in their own right. Whoosh also a member of that, although on the younger side. And then Rev being a player that I know has come in from the Quest era, has stepped into a really nice role here on this team, I think, and has really started to learn from members like Link One and Caption and is growing into their own right as well. So an up-and-coming team and perhaps looking to try and take an upset here tonight.
Yeah, looking for an upset indeed, and we're looking forward to getting into that action. Before we get to the action, though, let's talk about what you're going to see between action, which is going to be the commercials that we have on slate for you tonight, because we do have some exciting Easter eggs that you're going to want to be watching out for. Every commercial that's broadcast during both the AAA and the Pro Series during this NEPA series will have NEPA-themed Easter eggs. Some are obvious, some are hidden, but everyone who can name the commercials when we release the sign-up form and what the Easter eggs are in each commercial has a chance to win a $250 value gift basket plus $100 in cash. This is how you enter to win. You watch the matches, you write down the Easter egg that you see, the commercial you saw them in, and we'll let you know when we open the form up for the competition. So do not miss out on the excitement. Sign up, get your Easter eggs, write them down.
Indeed, and I'm really expecting quite a bit coming out of here because as teams get to play with one another in this second series, and they start to really gel together, you get games like that 80-point game, and you gotta expect that they're going to be super hyped about that performance and really want to try and show off again here tonight and really try and get as many points as possible because they want to take that win, but also want to do it in a dominating fashion and show that they are one of the best teams here in this league.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And, if you're the Charlotte Smoke, you're looking at the score from the Columbus Fire's last game. I mean, Columbus showing up 2-1, Charlotte 1-2. Both of these teams, looking to either go to 3-1 or stay at that 500 point, but kind of give it their all and establish their presence in the Eastern Division of the AAA side.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, with the way that the Charlotte Smoke has played so far, they also have had a number of pretty good games here. Most of their losses coming within 11 or 12 points at that, which are fairly close. And their one win that they do have on the board right now coming out as a 21-point victory. So they certainly have potential to try and turn it on here. It's just a matter of, did they come in prepared with that kind of defensive scheme to lock down this offense from the Columbus Fire? Because so far, the Fire have had that, not only that 80-point game, but also a win in week one with 59-28. So a 21-point game there. And we'll have to see if they can drop it here again here as we get into this game.
Yes, indeed. And it looks like we have got the teams readying up. We are going to get into the action here as they are into the tubes, and we have the countdown started. We are ready to kick off week 4 here with the Columbus Fire against the Charlotte Smoke. Let's go, let's go! And they're off, and it looks like the initial joust is going to go to the Charlotte Smoke, who look to get things established. Seeing a little bit of pressure here in the midfield. Out of the Fire, we're doing their best to defend. They now got a goalie back, but looking to bring the pressure up on the ceiling is Katz. Gets a stun, but not before the pass gets off. Have yet to see the Columbus Fire gain possession, but they're doing a good job of bringing pressure on the defense, keeping the disc out of the bubble in there. They finally get a mid on the disc. Look for the clear. It comes off of Shield, and it's going to be Rev who covers on defense and looks to clear it back out for the Smoke. Whoosh handing the disc over to Caption, who's going to bring it up the near side. Now takes it through the middle, pass over to Whoosh, who looks for the long shot, but the bank is going to ding off of the frame. Unsuccessful there, and it's going to be the Fire getting a clear out. Unable to maintain possession, though, it's going to ultimately end up all the way back with Caption, who looks to reset the offense. Moving it up to Double Diamond, looking for the pass over towards the right shoulder there. And now a shot out of Whoosh coming off the right side. Gets a 3-pointer there from 13 meters.
Yeah, catches all of the players of the Fire slacking a little bit there. Nobody in the goal and nobody really regrabbing to get back on that defense. So able to punish them there, and I like the controlled play we're already seeing out of the Smoke.
Yeah, Smoke have really been able to control the disc here in the first minute and a half or so. Have really dominated the time of possession so far. That'll be interesting to watch going forward. So far, they've got 80% of the time of possession. Just a couple of clears really out of the Fire, but nothing really established on the offensive end. With that, it is once again going to be the Smoke looking to set up that offense, but Katz is going to intercept a pass that was headed up towards the ceiling. Unfortunately, the clear out's going to go right to Link, who gets things reset for the Smoke. Here is a clear down the far side tunnel, and we do see a Fire stack in position. They indeed are going to collect. It's going to be Noctum who picks up Katz's clear and puts it in for the easy, uncontested 2 points. Now a 3-2 game with just over 5.5 to play here in the first.
Yeah, and I think that's what they were really looking for. These fast break points seem to be the staple offense of the Fire, and it's really what they're trying to pursue. And that can be very, very good if they're able to get down the field quickly and get those clears through. But as we can see, the Smoke are playing a very strong mid game, really keeping that disc possession and trying to deny those clears. As I say that now, it might be a little bit loose, but we should pick this back up.
And once again, we see the Smoke coming out with a very controlled offense. We now see a stack looking to pressure, and they do force an errant pass out of Link 1. Effective there, bringing the pressure. It's going to be Brainbot who looks to clear things up. They get the disc cleared down. Shield's going to get in the way, and we'll see who collects it over here on the far side. It ultimately is going to be Whoosh who gets that one. Looks for the long distance 3. Unfortunately, that one catches the Shield, but a fortunate banks off a Shield. Right back to Link 1, who does score a 3-pointer from 16 meters out. They've stretched the lead to 6-2.
Yeah, and I have to mention a lot of the reason why we're not seeing these players get back for the Fire is because there's someone in the backfield stunning out those stacks or preventing them from really getting back on defense. So opening up a lot of these 3-point shots like those is super punishing and really good here by the Smoke to try and control the high speed of this Fire.
And that's going to get slapped back into the blue bubble, but Rev is going to collect it. No pressure there. He works it up to Link 1, who looks to get across, but it's going to get caught up in the trench, bounce around a little bit, and ultimately be collected by Katz. sends it along the floor over to Brainbot on the far side. We're finally seeing the Fire kind of settle into their offense a little bit. They're stringing together some passes, looking for an open cutter, but Caption, fortunately positioned, doing a nice job there inside the bubble, intercepts that cross and gets it cleared out here to the near side tunnel. A little bit of a scrum going on here. Ultimately, Whoosh is going to walk away with the disc and clear it up into the orange bubble. Brainbot getting a hand on that one and looking to get it cleared out, which he does directly to Cats. Now crosses across the arena to Noctum, and a back pass to Brainbot. Like the patience here for the Columbus Fire, looking to do a little bit to maintain possession and get their offense set up. Rev gets that one, crosses the court, but it's going to be a stun that results in Dark getting the disc, goes for the long three, can't quite hit it though, and the stack just wasn't there in time. Ultimately, the bounce ends up in Noctum's hand, and they're now looking to work it off of the ceiling to the cut. Brainbot looks to get a hand on that one, but just can't tap it in. Dark still maintaining possession for the Fire. Little bit of razzle-dazzle there, working his way inside the shield, and comes up with another 2 points, brings it back to a 2-point lead for the Charlotte Smoke.
Yeah, they're finally able to score again after that long period of time. I do like that they're slowing down the pace, like you mentioned, because they were moving a little bit too fast on offense and on defense in some aspects. So really nice to see them slow down and try and play a little bit more controlled. I think it's really working out in their favor, as currently the Smoke haven't been able to get anything so far.
Yep, you are right. And here we see a pass along the floor over to Link 1, who has a nice pass there. Rev waiting at the bottom of the frame and able to slam that one home for 2 points. They stretch it back to a 4-point lead with 2 minutes to go here in the first.
And that's just one of those toughest angles for a goalie, really coming in from that low side. Hard for them to try and dive out and reach, because if they dive out, they immediately get punished by the shot or the fast pass into a slap shot. And if they don't dive, then of course that angle is so good. Oh, look at that from Caption, not quite able to find it, but Whoosh will pick this one back up here with some offense.
Yeah, with some offense, but a nice goalie stop there. Goes for the shot. Looked like Caption was hanging out on the frame. Didn't get a chance to stun out the goalie, and the goalie makes a nice stop. They turn it into a clear, and Noctum able to collect. Puts that one in for 3.
And able to come back with their own style here. Really looking for those clear and boosts before. Like we mentioned, it does work out successfully for them there and brings it back within 1 point. So critical to try and end out this first round with a lead, or at least as close as possible, to make sure that you can have the momentum coming into that second quarter.
Yeah, you're right. Inside of 2 minutes, they were able to make essentially a 5-point swing there with a great goalie work, denying the Charlotte Smokes shot, and then quickly turning it around for a 3-pointer. So a 5-point swing there. Now a minute left to play. They're within 1. So you're right. Really doing a good job of keeping that momentum close and keeping the game close from a score standpoint. With that, we're going to see now the Charlotte Smoke set their offense up again in the bubble.
Oh.
And Dark with a nice move coming off the near side wall, pushes in towards the goal and Dark got a hand on that one. I didn't see who that was working it off of the goal.
Yeah, I believe that was Whoosh coming in on the dunk after a few ducks and dodges, really trying to get around the offense there, but was able to do so successfully, and now picked up here by Rev, as that pass was not good on the first pass. On the offense here is now crossing over and going over to Caption, perhaps a shot opportunity indeed, and wow, look how fast they turned off defense into offense.
Yeah, that's right. And 2 quick goals there to end the quarter. Not necessarily what the Columbus Fire wanted to see. They brought it back to within 1, but then giving up 4 quick points here at the end of the round. They find themselves down by 5 here at the end of the first quarter. With that, we will take it to a word from our sponsor.
When does an underdog stop being an underdog? After the first big win, the second, try never. Because being an underdog isn't about how much you win. It's about how hard you're willing to work for it and making sure your opponents never know your next move. Which is why some of us make a point of staying underdogs, even when we're on top. Ram Trucks, J.D. Power's #1 brand in new vehicle quality.
For those looking to claim this week's POAP, head on over to www.nepavrpro.com/NFT to fill out the POAP claim form. You will need a secret password to fill it out, and this week's password is Austin Burners. You have until 9 p.m. Eastern Time on July 3rd to get that filled out. With that, we are getting right back into the action here with the second quarter. We've got the Charlotte Smoke leading the Columbus Fire 12-7, and our opening joust, although the Fire are able to get a head on it, it's ultimately going to be the Smoke who collect the disc and look to set up their offense. Now quickly bringing it down towards the bubble. Whoosh trying to work off of Nest, does so effectively. A push off of Shield will put him into a 5-meter 2-pointer. They've now doubled up the Columbus Fire at 14-7.
Yeah, and that's just a great individual play using the rotation and the geo to the fullest potential to really duck out the defender and then get that shot off on the goalie in the one isolated 1v1 opportunity.
And the Columbus Fire now coming out with that joust advantage, working it up the far side, but Caption does a great 1v1 defense, collects the disc, steals that, and gets it pushed back down towards the orange bubble. Brainbot's going to get a hand on it initially, but gets stunned out. Now got a loose disc in the bubble with Link 1 getting a hand on it. Still nobody maintaining a long-term possession, and now we get a clear out by the Fire. Rev able to collect to that one, but it does push it back out to midfield, so we'll see what the Smoke can get set up here with their offense. Little bit of a back and forth here now. It's going to be the Columbus Fire who get the disc finally cleared out all the way over towards the blue bubble, but a defensive chain is going to put the disc in Caption's hand, but he loses it to Noctum. Noctum doing a nice job picking the pocket there, then coming off of the floor for 2 points, bringing this back to within 5.
Yeah, nice scoop up there by Noctum. Was able to get the read on the hands of Caption and get that on the later regrab that came in. And able to score there in the 2v2 as well with the help from the teammates. So very good to see that from them, and that 5-point deficit not looking so big anymore.
No, it isn't, and it's still just a 2-shot game, although that long 3-pointer by Link, 31 meters, gets that one in for another 3 points. Boy, that felt like a big goal for the Columbus Fire to be able to get that back within 5, but that 3-pointer has got to hurt, Glean.
Absolutely, and we see this sometimes with the goalies cheating up a little bit onto that bow tie, really trying to look to set up more mid-presence to try and get the pressure on. Talk about mid-presence, Link 1 with the take, the shot, no, the ding instead, and it will be captured here with that back chain, trying to pick it up, knocked him, what a save, and that one cleared out, but yeah, that mid-presence is so important.
Yeah, it certainly is, and right now the midfield going to the Charlotte Smoke, and they're able to get their offense set up once again. They've stretched this out to a double-digit lead now at 19-9 with just over 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm loving a lot of what we see here from the Smoke. The way that they're using these defensive rollouts to really try and lock down the Fire and force them into bad positions has been really strong so far. So you see a little bit more defensive of a rollout here from the Fire, now moving over to Brainbot and really trying to slow things down because they're at a 10-point deficit. They really need to score here. The momentum not in their favor, so trying to make the most of every opportunity.
Yes, they are. It's now the Columbus Fire looking for an opportunity. Heard a ding there. It got close, but not in, and it's going to be the Smoke now getting a clear out. Shot from the trench. Oh, the bank is not open as Rev takes the long shot, just barely misses, but Link 1 in position there to clean that one up, grabs it off of the bank, puts it in for another 2 points. They've stretched this lead out even further now. We're about halfway through the quarter. Every once in a while, it feels like the Fire are getting some momentum, but Charlotte just always seems to have the answer.
Always, and it seems that they're really using the Fire's game against them. The Smoke here really liking these clear and boosts at times because they can get down the field faster. They're able to either stun out the back regrab for the Fire, or they're able to just get down the field first because they are faster. So able to score a lot of these fast break points, and I think that's why we're seeing this lead balloon so much.
And it's now the Fire who are testing the blue bubble defense, but they are able to get that one in. It's ultimately going to be Cats. I like the patience that I see here. The Columbus Fire not panicking. That was a nice offense, strung together 3 or 4 consecutive passes, ultimately find Cats inside the bubble.
Yeah, and one thing when you're this far down, at least in this double-digit margin, is that you have to slow things down and you have to make sure that you don't get too panicked on your opportunities, because things like this will appear where you get a turnover and perhaps you can turn it into more points.
Yeah, that's right. Turnover indeed. It's going to be Dark who slaps that one off the ceiling, gets it over to the blue side. Unfortunately, Whoosh is there to collect and gets it quickly moved back over to Orange, finds Caption on the far side. They're doing a great job of passing all the way across the arena, trying to stretch out that Columbus Fire defense. Errant past Link 1, able to recollect, gets it back over to Caption, finds Whoosh down on the floor. Whoosh looking for somewhere to go with it, loses the handle though. This one's going to bounce up towards the ceiling, and Cat's going to get a hand on it, slaps it away. Chain can't quite handle the disc though. Missed opportunity there, I think, for a fast break there out of the Columbus Fire, but they do maintain possession as Noctum is now working a 1v1 against the goalie if he can get there quick enough. He looks for the extra pass. Great move there as the stack was recovering. Goes back to Katz, who's got a better angle on the goal, and he's able to put it in for another 2 points.
And a nice pump fake as well, got both of the defenders floating towards him and through the goal, and was able to find that cutting team member to then be able to take the shot on the 1v1 versus the goalie, because both of those players were out of position. So well done to try and get another set of points here.
Yeah, really was a nice individual effort there. And just those subtleties, that little pump fake to kind of draw the defense out of position, those things can go so far on the impact of a play. Well executed there. They've brought it back to a 9-point advantage as we now see the Charlotte Smoke working the disc up the near side tunnel. Rev is going to look to cross this one over to Link 1, who's working the ceiling, looking for a pass, finds Link now down at the floor, gets it over to Whoosh on the backside, who elects to reset back to Caption. They're working the bubble. It's ultimately going to be Link 1 coming up off of the floor for another 2 points. Again, Columbus Fire finds something that works, but the Charlotte Smoke right there with another answer. It's back to a 10-point lead. We've got under 90 seconds to go here in the half.
And what patience there from the Smoke. They were right on that backboard, ready to take the shot on the goalie, but then choose to back it out for an even better angle to try and take it in. So really playing this slower style, but this very well executed style.
Yeah, very well. And thank you, chat. You have got things straightened out for us. So we did have our graphics overlay wrong at the start. We'll see if we can get that fixed. But it is, of course, the Columbus Fire who are playing on the right-hand side, the blue side, and the Smoke who are on the orange team here playing defense. So take back everything I said, all the great things I said about how the Fire have the momentum. It is the Fire now who are enjoying a 25-13 lead.
Yes, and all right. But yeah, the Fire have been doing a really phenomenal job as the Smoke are just on the back end and trying to get things going. Cats now handling the disc and sends it down. They have a good opportunity here. If Brainbot can find Cats again, they do, and nice shot there. So another couple of points brings that back within the 10-point deficit to close out this first half. But things have got to change here for the Smoke if they want to be able to take this one.
Yes, indeed, but they do find a couple of points there to end the quarter. They bring it back to a 10-point deficit, momentum being also important. We will get into the halftime report here in just a minute, but let us get to a couple of words from our sponsors.
Access the largest motorsports inventory in America. We're authorized dealers for Can-Am, Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Sea-Doo, and more. Get the best deals these brands have to offer. Browse through our inventory to find exactly what you're looking for. Tired of the side effect of side-by-side hair? Not when you have a Kawasaki. Your love of your Kawasaki Teryx 1000 will save you from side-by-side hair. Enjoy your Kawasaki on all types of terrain and magically eliminate the chance of messy, unwanted side-by-side hair. Go green this summer with Kawasaki. Get your favorite Kawasaki motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides today at Holzhauer Pro Motorsports in Nashville, Illinois.
Yeah! side-by-side hair. Just don't care.
NEPA will be issuing POAPs to anyone who shows up to live broadcasts and fills out the claim form with the secret password. The form can be found at www.nepavrpro.com/NFT. Each week, we'll be highlighting a different franchise as the POAP logo. Show up each week and collect all 16 teams. The more you collect, the more rewards you can unlock. The deadline to submit the claim form is 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, July 3rd. The week 4 secret password, super secret, because I'm going to say it on air right now, is Austin Burners. Go get your POAPs. We got good stuff coming at you. With that, let us get into our halftime report brought to you by Big St. Charles Motorsports. Glean, it was an exciting first half. I used the wrong team names for, most of the half. At the end of the day, though, we saw one team consistently answer. That was indeed the Columbus Fire. Charlotte Smoke tried to find answers, tried to find momentum where they could, but at the end of the day, find themselves in a 10-point hole here going into the second half. What do you see in the stats from our first half?
Looking at these stats, the thing that stand out to me the most here are, of course, Noctum with a 7 points, 2 assists, 2 saves, and 1 steal record right now. Really showing up for the side of the Smoke and really doing quite a bit, but Cat's doing quite a bit as well here with 6 points, 2 assists, and 1 save. So both playing very, very well here for the Smoke. And really trying to facilitate as well as be some of those frontline scorers. But on the side of the Fire, just look at that total. Link 1 with 14 points, just an absolute onslaught of points here from him, shooting those threes we saw a couple earlier, as well as just being in the right place at the right time, his teammates finding him as, see 2 assists, 3 assists, 2 assists, 3 assists. All these players facilitating each other very, very well, but most of the offense being run here through Link 1.
Yes, and really, across the Columbus Fire side, Link 1, Caption, Whoosh, doing a really good job spreading out the arena, using space to their advantage. Not only are they stringing together passes, but they're passing it from one side of the arena to the other. It's really spreading out the Charlotte Smoke defense. Be interesting to see what kind of tactic they might use to try and negate that a little bit, because the passes so far have been on point for the Columbus Fire, and it's really allowing them to dominate possession and give themselves, consistent high percentage scoring opportunities. They're dominating possession 60-40 right now. They're also dominating shots taken 60-40 right now. Those two things, I think, are translating to the scoreboard.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and it also feels quite a bit like the Fire are simply a little bit faster on a lot of these opportunities, whether it be to get back down the field or to get on the defensive end, whereas the Smoke really want to try and get to that point, but just haven't been able to yet, whether it be on defense or on offense. And that's often why we're seeing them not recover and not get to those players who are spaced out as much, is because when they're trying to put on pressure, when they're trying to come together to get those regrabs going to get on defense, or whether they try and regrab inside of their own zone to then get some pressure on those passes, they're simply not collecting fast enough or getting to the team members fast enough, which is why we're seeing this lead balloon. So if they can get a little bit faster with those regrabs, we might see a different story here in the second round.
Yeah, I think you're right. They've obviously shown the ability to score. They've got 15 points notched on the board. We've seen them get a couple of open shots in the bubble with stacks, but not consistently. But I do like that throughout the first half, they're playing this the way a NEPA format should be played. They're playing a 32-point match, and they're sticking with a patient offense when they can maintain possession. So I think if we can see the Charlotte Smoke continue to keep spread out, take advantage of the space in the arena, and be patient and look to chip away at this lead a little bit slowly, I think it's too soon for them to overcommit, get too aggressive defensively, and potentially open up the opportunity for the Columbus Fire to get on some kind of a scoring spree by taking too much risk here early in the half. Obviously, as the clock ticks down, as we get closer towards that fourth quarter, they'll have to take more and more risk, but there's still plenty of time, and they've shown they can be successful with the strategy that they're using. I think they need to stick to that and just try to do it a little bit better with some of the changes that you're talking about.
Yeah, and the Smoke have also shown that they have some great individual players that can do some great jukes and things like that. So utilizing that a little bit more in their offense, when they're closer to the bubble, might also come to their benefit.
Yes, it certainly could, and I hear the countdown going now as the team's ready up. Our 5-minute halftime having expired, we are now going to get into our second half action here with, to reiterate, the Charlotte Smoke in orange taking on the Columbus Fire in blue. With that, it is once again going to be the Columbus Fire who collect the loose disc at the floor. It's Rev who sends it forward, and whoosh, right where he needs to be, slamming that one home for another 2 points. They take this out to 12 points, just 10 seconds here into the second half.
And again, there's that speed. Whoosh being in the right place, the right time, able to really get to that disc before the stack from the Smoke could get there. So well executed by them.
Well executed indeed. The Smoke looked to get a pass down to Brainbot there at the floor, but it's going to be recollected once again by the Columbus Fire, who push things back up on the orange side. Now get a slap out. Dark is ultimately going to control the disc and look to get things cleared out. Can't get the stacks together, though, and it's going to be the Columbus Fire who recollect, get the possession back. Rev now looking for the top side clear. Ends up in the hands of Noctum. Gets it over to the far side. Cat's now bringing it up the far side tunnel, but the stack is in pursuit. He gets the pass off in time to Dark, and Dark's going to reset back to Noctum. Noctum now sending it over to Cats on the far side. Finds Brainbot at Nest. He will not miss from there. Gets another 2 points, brings it back to a 10-point match.
Okay, that was great. They played a lot slower, which is what we were looking to see, but also they're starting to have that man back towards that mid zone. And I just want to reference this from what I had said earlier. That mid zone of the arena is what we like to call mid, and having a player there to try and collect those clears and really try and be a nuisance as well as be a good option for a back pass is always phenomenal to have. We weren't seeing the Smoke really utilize that too much in the first half, but now it seems like they're doing it here.
Yeah, they are. I like the patience on that offense. Now let's see what they can do on the defensive side. So far, the Columbus Fire have been on fire. It's going to be Whoosh who looks to bring it up 1v1, but Dark gets the better of him, steals the disc, gets it cleared down. We've now got a stack race. It's going to be the Charlotte Smoke, and Noctum once again gets on the board, brings it back to a single-digit lead at 8 points here with just 2 minutes gone in the second half.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Smoke have been looking for. They've been looking for that speed after the clear. They're finally able to execute that game plan. We saw flashes of it in the first half, really able to get a handle on it here in the start of the second.
Yeah, and off of the rollout here, they are going to get a pass back to the quarterback. Whoosh made an initial pass, got the stack to retreat just a little bit, and now they set up the offense again, working it down that far side. Caption looks to dunk it in. Link 1 was in position, but ultimately the Charlotte Smoke are going to get a hand on it, look to get it cleared out. It is quickly right back into the hands, though. Link 1 working it off a Nest. Great goalie stop there, 6 stop. I think that was Noctum, if I could see correctly, in the goal, keeping that one out when Link 1 had a 1v1, so a nice defensive stop there. Get it cleared over to the blue side, but Whoosh able to collect. The clear is not there, though. It's going to be Brainbot collecting that one, looking for the extra pass, and maybe one pass too many. It allows the Columbus Fire to get back on defense and break things up with a stun. A little bit of a loose disc play here. It's ultimately going to be the Smoke who get a hand on it. Dark looks to reset this one. Bit of an errant pass, but Noctum is going to get back to the disc. We see some pressure in the midfield. Now got a 1v1, and it ended up being a 3v1. So it looked like he was going to go 1v1 versus the goal. He looks for the extra pass. It was not a clean pass, but at the end of the day, Brainbot able to get a hand on that one, brings it back to within 6 points. This is the kind of surge that the Smoke needed here to start the second half.
Yeah, and a clean dive right there. All 3 players inside that bubble moving at the same time, so they all get past the defenders, and that's just too many people for one goalie to handle.
Too many people to handle indeed, and now the defense able to get that one collected, but the pass is just a little bit off. A fortuitous bounce, though, ends up back into the Smoke's hand, but once again, the pass is not clean, bounces off of a geode, and it's going to be the Fire who were able to collect, send it back down into the orange bubble. Loose disc now heading up towards the top side trap. Cat's going to get a hand on it. Looks for the long shot, just a little bit low. Whoosh there to collect. Look to get things cleared out. A little bit of a back and forth here in the midfield. Both of these teams having some errant passes here and there, not really able to get set up into their offense. Let's see who can collect. And once again, we see a pass that's going to bounce up off towards the ceiling as the Charlotte Smoke give up possession to the Columbus Fire, and the Columbus Fire able to capitalize on that one as Whoosh brings it in for another 2 points.
A tough angle from Whoosh, and a minute scoreless between the two teams there, that disc being in play, and really we're seeing quite a bit slowed down here by the Smoke, but they're still playing the game style that they want to play. It feels like they've gotten into a rhythm, or they've gotten these better comms going on, because we could see these passes come through. We could see these ideas like this cross potentially coming in here to Cats, and well executed, my goodness. 10-second response to bring them back within 6.
Really nice answer there. Yeah, bring it back to a 2-goal game if they can make them 3. So, again, not letting that momentum get too far out of hand, keeping it within 6 points, really close here now. A joust advantage coming for the Columbus Fire. Let's see what they look to set up with the offense. Whoosh is going to collect the disc once again, passes it to near side tunnel to Rev, who's again going to reset it back to Whoosh. Playing with a lot of patience are the Columbus Fire. They now look down the far side tunnel to Link 1, who is currently unpressured, looking to bring it up the far side. Looks for the pass now again, passing it all the way across the arena, spreading out that defense. Ultimately sets up a 1v1 for Rev, but that's going to ding off of the frame, best goalie in the league. And we now have a extended Columbus Fire possession, which is ultimately going to find caption to Rev. Rev getting another 2 points, stretches the lead back out to 8.
That's really nice to see there from Caption. You know, Rev missing that initial shot has got to hurt a little bit, but then Caption giving it right back, giving a nice easy setup to score that one. Seeing that disc sink into the net even after the first miss is a great feeling for a player, and always brings that confidence back up.
Yeah, it does. You got to have a short memory on those shots. This game just moves so quickly that the disc is going to end up back in your hands sooner rather than later. Rev ready for that one and able to capitalize on the second one here. Whoosh. Oh, whoosh. Dials in the sniper rifle from 42 meters. Another 3 points here for the Columbus Fire. It was 6. It's now back to 11. Momentum swinging a little bit Charlotte's way. This is a nice answer with 5 straight points out of the Columbus Fire to try and ebb that tide. Joust advantage now for the Charlotte Smoke, who are working it up the far side. But Whoosh comes in, picks the pocket, looks to get things cleared out, doesn't get a clean clear through the tunnel. We now have a loose disc. It's going to be Katz who gets a hand on it, sends it forward. There are 2 Smoke players in the bubble, but a nice defensive stop there. Goalie makes a play inside of 20 seconds, a huge stop there. Now Whoosh maintaining possession. We're under 10 seconds. He just looks for the easy reset, and it looks like the Columbus Fire are going to be happy to run out the clock here and take the 11-point lead into the 4th and final quarter. With that, we will jump to a word from our sponsor. NEPA is going Web3 and will be issuing NFTs as a way to reward the community. Anyone who claims one of these NFTs will be eligible for future raffles and giveaways that we'll be conducting throughout the year. They are free to claim, and all you have to do is fill out the claim form that can be found at www.nepavrpro.com/NFT. We have got some great stuff planned you do not want to miss out. Get over to www.nepavrpro.com. Well, Glean, we had ourselves quite a quarter there. Several momentum swings within that 8 minutes. We saw the lead get down to as little as 6. It currently sits at 11. What are you looking for here in the 4th quarter?
I mean, we got to look at the mental game or the side of the Smoke. You know, being able to come back, it really felt like they were rallying, really trying to make it back in time for the fourth quarter, but just that lead being opened up by the Fire was so critical coming into this fourth quarter. So really looking at that mental game, making sure they're staying strong and trying to make the most of their opportunities, because now it is crunch time.
Crunch time indeed, and we are back into the action here in our fourth quarter, and it's going to be the Smoke looking to get that offense set up, but they cannot connect on that pass, and we are going to see a clear out here by Whoosh, sends it into the orange bubble, but Dark gets a hand on it, passes it forward to Brainbot, looks to get a pass down to Noctum at the floor. Noctum is able to collect. It was not a clean pass, allowed the chain to recover though, but Brainbot now with the disc working it up to Cats. Fire looking to get their defense back as we see a patient offense here from the Charlotte Smoke, looking to get things set up with a back pass to Noctum, spreading out the arena. Cats now finds Brainbot up on the ceiling, gets stunned out though before he can do anything with the disc, and it's going to be the Columbus Fire who get things cleared out over onto the orange side. Cats able to recover, gets that one cleared just before Whoosh comes with the stun, but that clear is going to end up in the hands of Caption, who now looks to set up the Columbus Fire offense. Whoosh showing patience down in trench, looking for somebody to pass it to. Ultimately elects to send a back pass to Caption on the near side. Whoosh and Caption now maintaining possession. Chris passes, trying to bait the defense out. Ultimately opens up a shooting lane for Caption off of the near side shoulder, able to put that one in for another 2 points, stretch this out to 13 points with just under 6.5 to play.
Wow, and I mean, look how far that play started. Look how far back that play starts. It started with two players sitting inside of that mid zone, waiting for that clear to come through because they knew it was coming toward them. They get to that disc and then they slowly work their way up the floor with patience, really taking their time and set a good pace for themselves to then execute their offense. And again, looking to try and score here. Link one with the, oh my goodness, right through that mail slot. Oh, how many does he have now? He's got a ridiculous amount as far as I know.
Yeah, he certainly does. Link one now sitting at 17 points overall. Really having a nice game and a nice shot there. Looked like a little bit of a sidearm to slide that one through the slot. Able to put that in for another 3 points. It's now a 16-point stretch with 5.5 to play. With that, the Charlotte Smoke look to set up the offense. Fortunate bounce ends up back into the hands of Dark. He brings it over to the near side, looking for a passing lane. Bounce pass over to Cats on the far side. Gets it into Brainbot underneath the goal, but dings off of the frame there. Unable to capitalize on those points, but they do maintain possession. Brainbot now looking over to Dark. Dark looking for a passing angle, but Link one able to pick the pocket, get that one cleared out before it could go very far. Knocked him right where it needs to be. Recollects the disc, maintains possession for the Charlotte Smoke, who look to set up that offense once again. Like the patience here, going back to Cats. There are under 5 minutes to play. 16 points, not insurmountable, but they do need to start getting some goals on the board and finding some defensive stops, as Cats is looking for a passing lane, but that Columbus Fire defense just continues to cut into those passing lanes, but not able to cut off Noctum there, who has a really nice goal find in the far pocket from the near side shoulder, able to get that one in for 2 points. All important 2 points to bring it back to within 14.
Yeah, and they keep dragging the defense out further and further. Once they do so, they have 2 men inside the bubble, and when you have only 1 man in a goalie, it's essentially 1.5 men versus 2, so really able to use their numbers there to try and score. And here again, they have a numbers advantage, so perhaps can push the issue.
Push the issue indeed. They're going to do that by getting it up to Brainbot on the ceiling. He finds Noctum for another 2 points there, bringing it back to within 12. So now we've seen successive goals out of the Charlotte Smoke, trying to chip away at this lead under 4 to go in the fourth.
And most importantly, it was fast. That was 14 seconds straight off from their defensive joust. So now they have a lot more time in their back pockets to try and make this comeback all the way through.
Indeed. Oh, narrowly missed shot there, though, coming off of the far side for the Columbus Fire. Brainbot ultimately going to end up collecting the disc, tries to get it cleared down. They had a stack in position, but it's going to bounce off of a geode and end up back in the hands of the Columbus Fire.
Oh,
Another
no.
long distance.
Oh.
That's at least 2, if not 3, where Whoosh has found it over near that far side tunnel and dialed it in from long range, taking it now to 42-27.
That is from years of experience, ladies and gentlemen. Years. That kid has that shot dialed in. I know he's practiced that one time and time again, and man, oh man, does it pay off here.
It does. Charlotte Smoke looking for the quick answer, though, like the speed at which they brought that disc up. Ultimately, though, unable to finish as the goalie makes yet another stop for the Columbus Fire and gets things cleared back towards the orange bubble. Now with just 2.5 minutes to play, every possession has got to count for the Charlotte Smoke, and they have got to start taking some risk and pressing forward, getting points on the board here quickly. That long shot ends up just wide, but the chain is there. Brainbot able to capitalize for another 2 points, brings it back to within 13, but the clock ticking away quickly now, Glean.
Indeed, and Bruce, I'll give you a little pop quiz here. You noticed the point differential. How many long threes have there been between Whoosh and Blink in this game so far?
A lot. My official answer. I'm doing math in public. It's a lot.
There have been 4, and guess what that point deficit is sitting at? 13. So just about those long shots is the reason why the Fire are up right now. And we've seen time and time again, the Smoke just cannot hit them. Even though they're a little bit close, they just are not able to fully get those long threes in. And that is really making the difference right now in that point differential.
That's right. And you're playing a team that's coming off of an 80-point outing in their last match. You have got to make those long shots count when you get the opportunity to take them. And there we see a 2-pointer just narrowly miss. It was a super tough angle, but unable to find the back of the net. I do believe we are past the point of no return here as we get to just over a minute to play and a 13-point deficit here for the Charlotte Smoke. We now see it cleared over to the orange side. It is going to be the Columbus Fire who collect. 3-pointer is going to sail just wide there, though, giving the Charlotte Smoke one more opportunity here to try and press forward with their offense. Link 1 does manage to collect that when the goalie came out. I think that was the Link, unable to get a hand on it. And again, you see just wide a 3-point opportunity from the Charlotte Smoke missed. Up into the near side trap along the ceiling. Knocked him, tries to get it cleared out, but Caption's going to walk away with the disc and find Link 1 all the way over on the far side. A nice pass there. Now looking to get the disc inside the bubble, which Rev does. Gets it over to Link 1 for another 2 points. Takes it to a 44-29. We have just a couple of seconds left coming out of the tube. Unlikely to find another goal here. Going to be the Charlotte Smoke with just a couple of seconds remaining by the time they launch here.
Yeah, but we always like to see if the Smoke could go for a headbutt play here, try and make their way all the way down the field. Looks like it will just be stuck in that mid, but always love to see it try and come out from the players, try and get that one last win.
Yeah, absolutely. We love those, and you got to play until the buzzer sounds, which both of these teams did. Hats off to both of these teams' effort. At the end of the day, the Columbus Fire, though, going to walk away with a 44-29 victory. And with that, we will take it into our post-game stats. Glean, tell us what you saw, tell us what you liked, and tell us what these two teams should look for going forward.
No, I was looking at Whoosh and Link 1. We talked about them quite a bit being those offensive powerhouses, but someone who's had a quiet night but a standout night nonetheless, Rev, with 7 saves on that scoreboard right there. Phenomenal work in goal and maybe a little bit underappreciated because there were a number of great stops that they had. Little pop quiz here for you again, Brutus. Did you know Rev's name before they changed it to that Rev Dash?
Oh man, I am not doing well on this quiz. I'm gonna go 0 for 2. What you got?
Revolutionary, and put a little bit of a revolution in that goal, if I say so myself. My goodness, just holding down the fort there. And you know, look at the assists across the board too for the Fire, sitting at 4, 4, 4, and 5. This team played together so well, setting up each other perfectly to be able to get the execution and to take the dub in this one. Of course, the side of Smoke also playing quite well. Knocked him with that 13 points, was doing a great job. Cats 8 points, 5 assists on that offensive end. So really had the inklings of the offense that they wanted, but at the end of the day, I think it was just those missed shots that we saw time and time again, those long threes or even those close-up twos that were really going off of that ding ring that were stopping them from being able to come back in this one.
Yes, indeed. The Columbus Fire really just doing a great job. Every time it seemed like the Charlotte Smoke were getting a little bit of momentum going. We saw them bring it back to, I think, a 6-point deficit even in the third quarter. Somehow the Columbus Fire would find an answer and just able to continually put points on the board and hold that surge off from the Charlotte Smoke, hold them at bay. But yes, indeed, knocked them with a great effort in defeat here. Also just calling Cat's name a lot, doing a really great job trying to set up that Charlotte Smoke offense and kind of leading the charge there. But at the end of the day, just too much Columbus Fire. With that, we've got an important job here, Glenn. It is now time to talk about the player of the match, brought to you by Holtzauer Auto and Motorsports. This is the Stuntman. We are going to give out the Stuntman trophy. Glean, who you got for player of the match?
You know, Chat's pointing it out to me a little bit. I gotta give it to Link. I gotta agree with Chat. Look at that stat line. I mean, 17-5, 1 steal in there. No saves, but 55 stuns. Clearly the leader out of any of the players here. Just a great all-around performance by this guy. Really doing quite well for his team and really having a standout performance in my eyes.
Yeah, I cannot disagree with you. I think those 7 saves by Rev are certainly worth an honorable mention here. That is just great defensive play, keeping points off the board. But how you find the time to get 55 stuns in while you're busy scoring 17 points, I just don't have an answer for. Super impressive by Link 1. So I'm going to agree with you there. Congratulations to Link 1, who walks away with the Holtzauer Stuntman trophy for player of the match tonight. And with that, we are going to conclude our broadcast for this match, but we have got 2 more exciting matches coming your way, so do not go far. The Aspen Sparrows will be taking on the Frisco Dragons here at the top of the hour, and we've got 1 more match coming at you in just over an hour. That's going to be the Chattanooga Barracudas taking on the Daytona Tide. So do not go far. We will be right back at the top of the hour with the Aspen Sparrows taking on the Frisco Dragons. Welcome back to NEPA TV's Tuesday night Week 4 coverage. We saw an exciting match where the Columbus Fire took down the Charlotte Smoke in our first one. We are back for your second match. I am joined by my man Glean. Glean, say hello to our viewers.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Indeed. Welcome back. We are going to get started here in just a minute. We are looking at the Aspen Sparrows, of course, the Denver Raptors AAA squad, taking on the Frisco Dragons, who represent that Dallas Knights AAA roster. Two teams coming in to this matchup, looking to get another win in the books. What do we see here on the orange team, Glean?
Yeah, on the orange side here, we're looking at the Aspen Sparrows with Belove, Glass, Biot, Nate Appleton. This team likes to play it slow, from what I understand. You know, they like to take their time with things, but with players like Belove. Again, I like to mention the historic players throughout the community. Belove being one of those, and a much beloved member as well, as I understand. So that experience coming in very well. Nate Appleton as well, I know as well, and Glass and Biot, names that I'm less familiar with. But of course, I cannot neglect Callan 101, an iconic player in his own right, and certainly a fantastic scorer as well.
Yes, indeed. Aspen Sparrows coming in, unfortunately 0-3 on the season, so looking to get that first victory here tonight, taking on these Frisco Dragons. Over on the blue side of the arena tonight will be Frisco. What do you see on this roster?
We're looking here at Spy, Geo, Baby True, and Robbins, and this, I will tell you right now, just looking at the members of Spy and Robbins, this is a high octane offense. These players love to move fast. They love their flashy plays in a sense, but they certainly can play discipline. They can play their own style, and they can play super fast. Robbins, I know, has also been a lockdown defender as of late, really inside of that mid zone, something that you really love to see, creating that possession. This team's sitting at 3-0, one of 3 teams still in the AAA series that is able to hold on to that perfect record as of right now. So looking to try and continue that here against the Aspen Sparrows.
Yeah, 3-0, and Jucifer out in the chat land will be happy to know they have twice hit 40 points, that all-important number that almost guarantees victory. But they're averaging in the upper 30s for points. You talked about it with the high-octane offense. That's certainly represented by the scores of their first 3 victories of the season. They're going to look to defend that undefeated record here, with the Aspen Sparrows looking to come out and get their first victory of the season. So should be a really exciting matchup. We're going to reach out to the teams and tell them to ready up. But first, we are going to talk to you about Easter eggs, because Easter eggs are fun. Everybody loves to find them. We've got some here at NEPA. You need to find them. Guess where they are? They're in the commercials that we broadcast before, during, and after matches. Every commercial that we have, both in AAA and our Pro Series broadcasts, will have NEPA-themed Easter eggs. You've got a job to do. You've got to watch the commercials, you've got to write down the Easter egg, and you've got to write down the commercial that you see that Easter egg in. If you do that, when we release the form, if you are able to fill out all of the Easter eggs and all of the commercials, you will be entered to win a $250 value gift basket plus $100 in cash. You don't want to miss out on that. So watch, write down what you see, and save them till we announce the competition so that you're ready to go with the information that you need on hand. With that, we are going to look to ready these teams up. They are in the arena. They are getting set on their sides. Glean, should be an exciting matchup. You talked about these 2 rosters, Belove, Nate, Callan, just great players over on the Aspen Sparrows. Honestly, looking at that roster, I'm kind of surprised they're showing up at 0-3. But hey, it's early in the season. You know they've been learning a lot. They're going to look to get that first victory here tonight, taking on another star-studded roster over on the Dragon side that we talked about earlier, but should see a really good matchup here in our second match of the night.
You know, all these losses that the Aspen Sparrows have taken, for the most part, have been very close losses. That first week being a 38-40 loss, so within 2 points, almost hitting that 40-point mark. The next week at 39 points. So they have these potentials to really score these points and really get to that 40 mark, as we were talking about, that being kind of that critical point for a lot of these matches. But they're just not able to overcome that hump, and the teams that they're going against. So yes, while a little bit surprising, they do have the potential to really get there. And taking a win here over one of the only teams that has currently had that perfect record would be a great way to try and break that losing streak, really start to get into the latter parts of the season, or at least the mid part of the season here, and really try and turn the narrative around for their team as of this moment.
Yeah, looking to turn that around, looking to find a little bit of momentum for the season, but just at the end of the day, looking to get better and better. It is a long series. We have got a full 16-week series lined up, so still plenty of time for any of these teams to find success where none has been found previous. Looking at these two lineups, they've had one common opponent of interest. Aspen Sparrows lost to Toronto 54-39. It was the Frisco Dragons who came out on top against Toronto, beating them by 7, 40-33. So take from that common opponent what you will. Each game is unique and its own, but that gives you kind of a judge there, taking a look at that common opponent with the two scores there. But everything changes when you get in the arena with a team. So much goes into the strategy that you bring to the game. You've got to look at the other team's strengths and weaknesses and look for ability to capitalize. That's where the captains of these teams become oh so important, to try and dissect what the other team is going to bring to the table and how are we going to overcome that. Let's see what the Aspen Sparrows and Frisco Dragons have in store for each other. We have got teams readied up, and we are going to get into the action. And here we have our first joust. Looking for somebody to maintain possession. It looks like Robbins is going to walk away with this one. He sends it off the floor, looks across, but Glass is going to intercept, gets the disc into the hands of the Aspen Sparrows. B-Love now looking to make the cross pass. Unfortunately, though, going to hit a geode. Still finds its way over to Callan on the far-hand side. Callan now gets it over to Glass, who's going to look to work the ceiling, trying to find somebody to pass it to. Ultimately elects to reset it back to B-Love. Sparrows doing a good job of trying to spread things out, but Gio does a great job on the 1v1 defense, able to stun out and collect the disc and get things back into the hands of the Frisco Dragons. Their clear is initially going to be intercepted, but after the disc bounces loose, Spy is going to be able to collect and put the Dragons on the board at the first 2 points of the match.
Yeah, that member of the orange team, they're not really seeing that Spy was around the back corner, able to get the stun in their own backfield and really get that goal in. So a good first couple of points here for the side of the Dragons. And really, these Sparrows trying to look to execute here. But oh, just as I say that, Robbins, I talked about him a little bit before, but that mid presence is so strong from him.
Oh, the double ding out of Robbins as he finds both the top and bottom of the frame, but the bounce is going to come back to Baby True's in perfect position to finish that one off, stretching the lead now to 4 for the Dragons.
Indeed, and really, Robbins, that presence right there, I casted one of his previous games, and the presence to just be on that double diamond block to get the reads as to where the disc is going to go. Oftentimes, more than not, it seems like it goes his way. So, really doing a fantastic job there. Again, they force another turnover.
Yeah, another turnover force. They're already up 4-0. So the Aspen Sparrows looking to figure things out from that joust advantage. Another turnover here. Baby True now looking to work things into the bubble, and indeed does, finding Spy down at the floor, who works things up for a 5-meter 2-pointer there. They've now stretched it to a 6-0 lead.
Spy, did you see what he did there? He looked all the way back, gave the goalie the snake eyes, tried to find that cutting player, and then just took the shot himself. Well, I think he got the goalie looking. So, wow, they're up by 6 now. And just Spy with the steal. The shot, no, the ding instead will be picked up here by Baby True and an easy lay-in 3. But whew, they are off to what is an incredible defensive start.
Incredible defensive start. Let's give credit where credit is due. At the same time, the Aspen Sparrows continuing to have issues with the turnovers. They've got to settle into something here from their joust advantage to try and spread things out and trying to gate the defensive onslaught they're facing from the Dragons right now. And just like that, another interception. Long shot is going to sail just wide, but another turnover off of the joust for the Aspen Sparrows. They're looking to get something figured out there. It's the Frisco Dragons who are looking to figure something out now on the offensive side as Baby True takes this one back, looks to stretch out the defense and find a passing lane. He finds that with Spy over on the far side, looks to get a cross in, but The shooter is stunned out. So nice bubble defense there. Nate Appleton ultimately able to get a hand on the disc and get things cleared over to the blue side bubble. Defensive stack is back, though, as Robbins gets a hand on the disc and looks to get a clear for the Frisco Dragons. That is sent back down towards the orange bubble. It's going to bounce off of the right shoulder, though, so incomplete there, getting it down towards the bubble. We find it back on the blue side. A long shot there is going to sail just wide for the Sparrows and ultimately end up back in the hands of the Dragons, who are now looking to set up their offense. Couple of errant shots there. We saw some long shot opportunities, both sailing wide, but both of these teams looking to score on open goals when they get the opportunity. Let's see who can dial it in first and get some points out of that tactic. Meanwhile, the dump off of Cloud into the bubble is going to be intercepted by Gio, and it is the Frisco Dragons who are now back on the attack. And the bank not quite open there, looking to work it off of the ceiling is Robbins, ultimately going to be cleared back out by the Sparrows. They get it back over towards the blue side, but Spy is there to collect and then looks for the reset. They have got Gio back in position, so they're resetting the offense now. Looking for some passing lanes, looking to draw out that defense right now. Gio coming up the middle, uncontested. He does finally get contested, but has Spy over on the near side tunnel and gets the pass there in time. Robbins now working it on the far side ceiling, and again, showing that patience, showing that restraint, gets it back to Gio on the back pass. Yeah. Gets it over to Baby True, who dings it off once again. We have heard a couple of dings so far in this match, so both of these teams still looking to dial in that final shot. Now a clear out by the Sparrows gets things back over onto the blue hand side. Stacks looking to get together. Let's see who can get back for it. Ultimately, it's going to be Nate Appleton in the right place at the right time. Comes in as a singleton and uncontested. Gets the Sparrows their first 3 points of the match.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they needed right there. Breaking the ice, they get the uncontested breakaway, fast break points there. And saw that there was someone back in that backfield stunning out the stacks of the Frisco Dragons, so making sure that they couldn't get back on defense, really opening up that opportunity. But just to say that an opportunity, no, just off the nest instead.
Yeah, looking for that mail slot, but catches nest. But Robbins in position to recollect and maintain the possession for the Dragons. Gio now sends it back over to Robbins on the far side. Robbins comes in 1v1, a little juking and jiving, sets that 2-pointer up. Spy finding him on the far side, and then a 1v1 individual effort from Robbins, able to beat that goalie, stretch the lead to 8.
Yeah, and ballooning that lead once again. They're up by 8, as you mentioned, and that's really, they have so much momentum in their favor right now. It feels like the Sparrows really need to try and respond here, but just like that, if they turn this disc over, it could be critical in this first quarter as they find the cut. Oh, what a play! Just finding that cutting member who's coming up very fast off that regrab chain, goes straight through the barrier, straight through the center. Goalie isn't quite expecting it because they're looking at where the disc is. Great setup.
Yeah, great setup and a nice dive there into the bubble, but really you got to be impressed with that pass in a crowded bubble, able to find that passing lane and set up what ends up being a pretty easy 2-pointer based on the accuracy of the pass. So everything firing right now for the Dragons. The Aspen Sparrows looking for some kind of answer to try and stop that offensive onslaught. They've only got the 1 3-pointer so far on the board, with Nate sinking one just a minute ago, but they're looking to get a consistent offense going, and so far the Dragons haven't allowed them to do that. With that, it's going to be Robbins who collects the disc inside the blue bubble, looking to bring it up. We are under 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. We see a turnover. Aspen Sparrows collect the disc, and B-Love sends that one in. You could almost hear the comm there as he's saying it's going in, it's going in. And indeed, they do get the 3 points there. 13-6 now, with the Aspen Sparrows getting 2 3-pointers here in the first quarter.
Right, so a good response here for the Sparrows, making sure that they're not down by double digits after this first quarter. Very important to have momentum-wise going into the second, but still down. So far, they've only been able to find those 3-pointers as the goals. They need to try and get those rollouts working. We saw so many turnovers, whether it be from great defensive schemes from the side of the Dragons or just a couple of unforced errors with the missed passes. So they need to talk about cleaning that up, how they're going to fix that with the rollouts. And once they get that settled, I think we'll see a little bit better coming out from that.
I think you are right, but first we are going to see a little bit better commercial from our sponsors. We will be right back with second quarter action.
Harley-Davidson builds bikes that are meant to ride. There are vehicles your parents would recommend you drive. Then there are the motorcycles your crazy uncle who gave you fireworks for your birthday tells you to ride. You wouldn't want to let your uncle down, would you? If your need is speed, chrome, and custom paint, check out all of the new and pre-owned bikes at Greenmount Road Harley-Davidson in O'Fallon, Illinois. Don't let your uncle down. Get to
For those looking to claim this week's POAP, get over to www.nepavrpro.com/NFT. Fill out the POAP claim form. You need the secret password. For this week, it is Austin Burners. Get over there. Do it. But not before you watch the second quarter, which is starting right about now. Let's get back to the action. And we are off. And it looks like the headbutt is going to bounce into the far side trap. And it's going to be the Sparrows who get a clear onto the blue side. They try and get a chain in position, but just as quickly as they got to the disc, the Dragons defensive stack got back and are able now to establish possession with Spy looking to work things up the near side tunnel. Resets it to Geo. They work it over to the far side where Baby True looks to send it through the ceiling. Find someone in the bubble. That someone is going to be a defensive player, though, who slaps it out, but not far enough to keep it out of the Dragons' hands, who recollect possession. They are now working the disc in and around the bubble. Geo looks to reset. They have done a great job with those resets gleaned throughout the match, this time finding Baby True back at Double Diamond.
Yeah, absolutely. Just taking their time, and now Robin's able to walk it on the ceiling. Tries to find. Oh, wow! Spy hanging down there at the bottom side of that goal. Gets right past the goalie, so close that you think that the goalie might have wanted to jump at it, but just couldn't for fear of a cut. And indeed, there was a player on the underside just waiting to dunk that one in.
Yeah, nice goal there. Really like the patient there. Going for that one extra reset. They pushed it into the bubble initially, couldn't find any success, so they pass it back to Geo to reset things and spread the defense back out. And just like that, once again, Glean, we see an issue with the joust advantage. They can't get the rollout done out of the Aspen Sparrows. Baby True makes them pay with another 3 points.
Yeah, it's almost coming at a disadvantage, it feels like, because once they get they turn over the disc, they're just struggling to either get possession back or to even stop the offense right there. Again, another pick. Baby True looking for the shot. It will go wide this time, but you can see they turn it over in their own zone, which is so bad for them because they need the offense. They need to get a little bit of pressure, but without that, they can't get anything done.
No, they can't. Thanks to the 2 3-pointers they had in the first quarter, it is only a 12-point lead right now for the Dragons. It doesn't necessarily feel that way at the rate of turnovers that we're seeing, and a nice exchange there inside the bubble. It is going to be the Sparrows, though, who reestablish possession. Working it up on the ceiling is Cowan, looking for somebody to pass it to, ultimately finds Glass over on the ceiling on the far side, who goes for one more pass, finds Nate, who's found his number on the scoreboard once again, bringing it back to a 10-point lead for the Frisco Dragons.
All right, so a couple of good points there. They find their way back into this. They find some time as well and some offensive pressure, exactly what we were talking about that they needed. They needed to at least get it out of their own zone so that way they can try and set something up. And here they have the opportunity with this front stack trying to look to apply pressure.
And it's Baby True now who's looking to apply pressure, bringing things up kind of towards the middle, looking for somebody to pass it to, but nobody's pressuring him on defense, so he just brings it up until he finds Geo in position for a shot. So Baby True looking to pass it in the midfield, but ultimately just able to dump it into Geo at the floor for another nice 3-pointer. Good patient play there. Didn't see any pressure out of the offense, which allowed Geo time to dial in that pass and set that goal up.
Yeah, and in addition to that, both players inside that bubble diving out from the goal. I think one of them was trying to look to put pressure, but wasn't quite able to. It was a nice block there from Callan eventually turns into a turnover, and Baby True looked for the shot. No, it will be just a headbutt instead, but retained here by Gio.
Yep, and this is how we saw the last goal set up. It was a back pass to Gio. It was getting the spacing and then looking for that high percentage shot opportunity. Here we see a pass, but a great defensive play there by Nate. Trips it away initially, but Baby True able there to in the right position to clean up that garbage and sends that one home for another 2 points, stretching this lead out even further.
Yeah, it has felt absolutely dominant from the side of the Frisco Dragons, and you just got to think about what are the next steps for the Aspen Sparrows. I mean, they have to break through this mid defense because we've seen that be super strong, but also these passes just go awry again and again as Baby True picks this one up and tries to toss it in, can't quite find it. It will be a stun out here, so Callan does recover, but they're just not able to get it through this mid zone of the arena.
Yeah, they have been bottled up there. The times they have been able to score, they've either gotten a clear down for an open three-pointer or they've strung together a couple passes and scored in relatively quick order. But when they allow, as we see another really nice goal there from Robbins, when they allow the Frisco Dragons to set up that midfield defense, the Aspen Sparrows just do not have an answer.
Oh, he shot that from the shoulder, which is typically not a three-point block unless you take the long way around the block. Gets the three and shoots it on a goalie. My goodness, Robbins. Just showing out today so far. And finally here we get a pass all the way down into that blue side, but immediately scooped up by the Frisco Dragons, even when they are not do not get that interception or do not see the turnover, they immediately pounce on the disc and are able to get it back in their direction.
Yeah, things working really well for the Frisco Dragons right now. Callan looking to make something happen for the Aspen Sparrows, but can't get that cleared out before he gets stunned out. We now see a loose disc up near the ceiling. Baby True able to collect. He looks for the pass down towards the floor. Spy is there to receive. Looks at the 1v3, elects not to go in. 1v3 instead finds Baby True on a cut pass for another 2 points.
I mean, it is certainly, I would not be, I have no words. I really am having a hard time finding fault with anything that the Frisco Dragons are doing because they're playing such a great game so far. The way that they're setting up this man defense has just had so much pressure. This does get cleared down into their defensive side, but they're still able to scoop it up so quickly before any member of the Aspen Sparrows gets there.
Yeah, they have had time. They've shown patience when they have needed to have it, but they are not afraid to put themselves in scoring position by pressing forward either. So I agree with you. I just see everything working for the Dragons right now. Aspen Sparrows searching for an answer. Just over a minute to play here in the half. You think they're going to have a long time discussion at halftime about how they can mix things up, how they can somehow defeat this midfield defense that they're seeing out of the Dragons.
Yeah, and as that shot just dings off the post, I would have also liked to see a timeout come out from one of the teams. I mean, we iterated at the beginning of the stream that, each team has a timeout per half, and perhaps cooling off the opposing team would have been great as B-Love taps that one in just to make sure that they get another couple of points on the board. But when a team is on a snowball like that, and when you're feeling the pressure and you're not getting these rollouts to work in your favor, sometimes that timeout to just recollect, say, hey guys, what's going on? Can we, get these cleaned up, or what do we need to do in order to change that way this works? Is ever so important. But opting to not use it here as they go into the second half here momentarily.
Yeah, an interesting decision indeed to not use that. It looks like they're just going to hold off at this point and go for the 5-minute break at halftime. With that, Baby True gets the disc at Shield, dumps it down to Gio for another 2 points. They have now stretched this lead to 20, and we are not going to have time for another possession here as we are inside of 10 seconds with players still in the tunnel. So a great half there, mostly if you're a Frisco Dragons fan. Aspen Arrows going into halftime, looking for some answers. The captain over there is busy looking to come up with some kind of a strategy to counteract what they faced here in the first half. We will get into our halftime stats once we come back from a word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Morgan Corman with Holzhauer Pro Motorsports. Not only are we carrying more inventory than all other dealerships, we're blowing up their prices too. Cowboy Corman's back again, and this 4th of July, I got another 1,776 reasons for you to get back into Holzhauer and get you a new unit
to get out and enjoy the 4th of July weekend. Holzhauer Auto and Motorsports in Nashville, Illinois.
Harley-Davidson builds bikes that are meant to ride. There are vehicles your parents would recommend you drive. Then there are the motorcycles your crazy uncle who gave you fireworks for your birthday tells you to ride. You wouldn't want to let your uncle down, would you? If your need is speed, chrome, and custom paint, check out all of the new and pre-owned bikes at Greenmount Road Harley-Davidson in O'Fallon, Illinois. Don't let your uncle down. Get to Greenmount.
All season long, NEPA will be issuing POAPs to anyone who shows up to live broadcasts and fills out the claim form. Form can be found at www.nepavrpro.com/NFT. Each week, we'll be highlighting a different franchise as the POAP logo. Show up each week and you can collect all 16 teams. The more you collect, the more chances you have to collect rewards. The deadline is Sunday each week. This week, that is 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, July 3rd, and you will need a secret password. It's so secret that we put it on the screen, and I will say it. Austin Burners. Get over to nepavrpro.com, fill it out now, but make sure you keep listening because we're about to have a breakdown of the first half action. We're going to get into our halftime report brought to you by Big St. Charles Motorsports. Glean, break it down for the people. What are we seeing in the stats?
We're just seeing dominance across the board by the Dragons. They've had such a phenomenal game so far. I don't think the stats will accurately reflect what has been happening, but those midfield interceptions, those mid-arena interceptions have been so massive for the Dragons, just getting turnover after turnover. The pressure they're applying with this man defense that they've been throwing out there just has the Sparrows dizzy. They don't know how to work around this, and that's why we're seeing a lot of these initial passes off of the joust advantage go astray or go awry. They are trying to find a way to work around the defense, but there's always a man right on top of any person that's out there. Any player that's trying to get open is just immediately covered by their man, and they can't get anything going so far, and those reads have really made those turnovers happen for the side of the Dragons. Baby True being the main scorer of those points, but also facilitating for the rest of the team. 4 assists right there. Spy also a facilitator at 4 assists as well, but of course Robbins and Gio making great impacts as well, 5 points, 7 points respectively. On the side of the Aspen Sparrows, Beloved and Nate Appleton the only ones to score as of late, and we can see only that 1 assist by Glass for the side of the Aspen Sparrows because it's, for the most part, only been those fast break points that they've been able to score on. Glass, that they had that one drive inside the bubble that they gave it to Nate for the dunk, and that's been the only play that we've really been able to see inside the bubble. The rest have been those fast break points, but if the Aspen Sparrows can break through that mid zone, I'm hopeful that they're able to try and then lock down some more of those bubble opportunities, and we can see maybe some more scoring or some more assists come out from the side of the Sparrows.
And you've got to think that their halftime discussion is centered around exactly that, because they are finding success. They are finding the goal. Nate and B-Love both with 5 points. So they're showing that they can score, but they've got to create more opportunities. I would not expect for the Aspen Sparrows to be showing 3 steals to the Frisco Dragons 1 based on what we saw, but it's really the interceptions. It's the pressure that's creating errant passes and causing turnovers that's just led to a preponderance of attack coming from the Dragons. They're dominating shots taken 22-8 right now. So that defense creating offense and then putting them in position to score. Also seeing the Dragons sitting at 10 assists to just 1 for the Sparrows currently. So great midfield defense creates turnovers, creates offensive opportunities, which leads to assists and points. Just everything working for the Frisco Dragons right now.
Yeah, and like I iterated before in that second quarter, when you get that turnover inside of the offensive zone, that just creates so much pressure. Your players that were on that offensive rollout have to try and scramble to get back. So often you have the man advantage if you can create that turnover, and it just becomes this snowballing effect where they are able to find those scores time and time and time again. And it's really worked out so phenomenally for the Dragons, and with scorers like Baby True, like Robbins, like Spy, who know to set each other up, and of course Gio, and who can quite honestly create their own shot. We saw so many shots from so many creative angles from this team. These things can just snowball so far out of hand.
Yeah, you talked about that high-octane offense for the Frisco Dragons at the pre-show. When you create turnovers, that creates offense, and when you have an high-octane offense, that quickly translates into points. Let's see what the Aspen Sparrows come out here as we get into our second half action. Down 20 points, what can they do to try and change the tide a little bit as we get into our first joust? And just like that, the Aspen Sparrows get ahead on it, get it down to the blue bubble, but unable to collect. Now with the loose disc, Nate Appleton does get an initial possession on it, but quickly, once again, we see a midfield turnover and the Dragons getting back onto the offensive side. Baby True with the disc on the far side looks to reset it to Gio. Gio now has it on the far side. They are spreading out. They have got a player on the ceiling, a player on the floor, and it's going to be Baby True working it off of the right shoulder, tries to bring it in, but a great defensive stop there. Not able to clear it out, though, as the Dragons will maintain possession, continuing to work it just outside the bubble, now dumping it into the bubble, stringing together passes. Wow, what a series of passes in a congested bubble there. Ultimately, it's Robbins who finds Baby True for the goal, but just really crisp, tight passing there inside the bubble, Gleam.
Yeah, and the way that they cycled that disc was so perfect because they got multiple defenders to try and jump out at one person. Then while they're doing that, they orient it so that way one person can stun the goalie and knock them out, so that way it becomes a much easier shot, and it works out so phenomenally in their favor. But now an opportunity here, perhaps for the Sparrows, no, tapped instead by Robbins straight out of the zone.
Unlucky bounce there off of the top of the clock. It looked like it was going to dump into the bubble, but it ricochets back out. They do maintain possession over on the blue side, though, as B-Love now handling the disc on the near side. Dumps that one into Nate Appleton, and once again gets onto the scoreboard. He's got 7 points now, 12 total for the Aspen Sparrows.
Okay, and there we go. They broke through that mid zone, were able to maintain their position and really try and break through. There they have the assist, they have the score, so already looking much better in the second half.
Much better indeed, but they've got to figure out something on the defensive end as well, as we once again see the Dragons setting up their offense. Spy looking to work it off of the ceiling. They're getting their offense set up, sending 2 players into the bubble, but a defensive stop there. Goalie able to deny that initial one. We see it bounced out. Callan's going to get a mid on it, but can't quite slap it away before Gio gets it back. Resets to Baby True, and once again, a near opportunity for the Aspen Sparrows to turn defense into offense, but somehow the Dragons get possession back, and now they're setting up their bubble offense once again. Callan gets an initial stop, but again cannot get a possession, cannot get a clear, which leads to really a third, but in that set, a second scoring opportunity. Robbins makes him pay with 2 points there.
Yeah, and that was just a tough position to be in for Callan. They had a member on the bottom side of the goal, Gio, there waiting for either a pass or a stun onto the goalie, with the man driving in. Such an uncomfortable position as a goalie to try and get a stop on that one. It's extremely difficult, but tried his best. And quite honestly, as there's another turnover here by Robbins, did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, Callan looks to bring that one up. He jukes one defender, but then tries to pass it through the midfield and turns it over once again. So Aspen Sparrows continuing to find a tough time to get through that midfield defense. Not to be a knock on them, just what a great midfield defense the Frisco Dragons are bringing, and the Aspen Sparrows have not found an answer yet, even coming out of halftime. Nice goalie save there, though, and we get a clear out for the Aspen Sparrows. They do get it back over on the blue side, so great goalie work there and set it up. At the end of the day, though, it is going to be Baby True who comes back, gets a hand on it, and gets it back forward to Gio in a near side tunnel. Now with an empty net for Baby True off of that pass from Gio for another 3 points. Quick transition offense turns into another 3 points, stretching the lead back to 25.
That's just a great call there from Gio. The unselfish play to call that I don't know if it's going in, just take it and make the shot, make the 3. I presume that's what the comms were, but if that was the call, then absolutely unselfish and absolutely well executed. Robbins again, this guy in the mid zone is so ridiculous. Able to get the read on exactly where the disc is going, whether it's going high or low, and always gets the interception, it feels like, so far in this game.
More times than not, indeed, the midfield defense has been just so strong. And with that, the turnover, Robbins gets the disc. He takes the long shot, but the goalie is there. Callan able to collect that one and does get it cleared out. Defensive chain is going to win the race, though, as the Dragons again get possession just outside of their own bubble. Baby True looking to bring it up once again, now being pressured by Callan. Wisely elects to reset it back to Spy, but B-Love intercepts the pass from Spy, takes the quick shot, and a three-pointer there for the Aspen Sparrows gets them back on the board, bringing their total to 15 with 3 minutes to play here in the third.
I mean, that's just nice hands from B-Love. Gets the snag as he's passing by, is able to take the open shot before any defense can recover, and slides that one in, makes the most of it as well. Does not ding the shot or anything, just makes sure that he makes it.
Aspen Sparrows showing a little midfield defense of their own, getting that steal as B-Love, and they turn it into 3 points, which is what they have got to have at this point. It is, again, the Dragons now with possession. Robbins handling the disc off of the ceiling, works his way down to Nest, looking for somebody to pass it to, but the passing lanes are filled for the moment, but he does find Baby True on the far side, who brings it in for another 2 pointers. 39 points now, Jucifer. I'm looking in the text. You're about to call 40. I know it.
Soon indeed. And I mean, this lead is absolutely ridiculous. 24 points is quite good here for the Dragons.
Quite good indeed, but we have seen the Aspen Sparrows find some success here in the third quarter. But once again, the quarterback turns it over at the midfield, and it's going to be Spy who gets it over to Baby True for another 2 points. Crisp pass there to a diving Baby True for 2 points.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, there's the timeout. So that is good. They do take the timeout here in the second half. Exactly what they needed. But we're looking at a 21-piece game here from Baby True so far.
Yeah, really playing lights out. But it all comes back to that midfield defense. It is the number of opportunities that they have been able to create and just so consistently. They have broken up the joust from the Aspen Sparrows just so many times, and they are turning that into points more times than not. But you're right, Baby True absolutely popping off with 21 points right now. So when he gets the chance to shoot, created off of that turnover, making it count almost every time.
Yeah, and the teammates are also making a lot of these unselfish plays. If they do get the interception, they aren't trying to solo to try and get those points. They're making the extra pass. Look at these 15 assists across the board as we're coming into this third quarter. We were just looking at 10 at the half, so getting 5 within this just about 5-minute span, just over, as we're sitting at that 150 mark, is rather impressive and really shows the team chemistry and the unselfishness to try and make the extra pass, try and make the best angle possible for the teammates, setting that up. And most of the time that ends up in the hands of Baby True on the cut, but we're seeing some points coming out here from Spy, from Robbins, and from Gio as well.
Yes, indeed, and we're coming out of the timeout here as the teams get reset, coming out of that 1-minute timeout, a wise timeout, I think, to reset. Let's try and get some learning. Let's figure out what we're doing with the joust and try and find some continued success in bringing it up. They do have 6 steals now total for the game, they being the Aspen Sparrows, but just like that, another quarterback mishandle. Spy brings that in for another 3 points. Aspen Sparrows continuing to search for an answer for this Dragons defense.
Yeah, you got to think if, what's got to change here. Maybe do we switch up the QB? Do we switch up how defensive our initial rollout is where we can get a quick pass off? Looks like they do opt for something a little bit different here. Is they do have the one player back, B-Love, looking to just try and stun out whoever possible. That first pass will go astray, but the switch up is kind of working in their favor, it would appear.
Yeah, it certainly is, but here we see a 2v1. It is Glass who brings it in, uses the fake pass over to Nate Appleton to distract the goalie, and gets that in for 2 points.
Indeed, and that number advantage was really critical for them, as now they are able to secure another 2 points, still down by 27, but really trying to put their all into this third quarter and try and rally some points back in the fourth to make this a pretty good game for us.
Yeah, pretty good game indeed, and there's always lots to learn for both teams as well as the viewers. We are watching another offensive set here. One more pass, gets it behind the goal, but it's going to be B-Love who picks the pocket, gets things cleared out, sends it forward to Glass, who now works it up the right-hand side to Callan, who sinks in a 31-meter three-pointer. Nice bit of momentum there for the Aspen Sparrows. Closing out the third quarter, we'll get a word from our sponsor and then be back for the fourth. NEPA is going Web 3 all season long. We will be issuing POAPs and NFTs to reward the community. Anyone who claims one of the NFTs will be eligible for raffles and giveaways that will be conducted throughout the year. They're free to claim. All you have to do is fill out a claim form at www.nepavrpro.com/NFT. We have got some great stuff and some great prizes planned, so do not miss out. You can see the grand prize there, won by a previous raffle, a trip for two to the NEPA Charity Cup 2023. There is good stuff to be had, but you have to do your part. Go claim your POAPs, go claim your NFTs at www.nepavrpro.com. We are getting set for our fourth quarter action. We see a 24-point lead for the Frisco Dragons. Aspen Sparrows, though, getting a little bit of momentum going there at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, and this 24 points will be a pretty big mountain to try and climb, but they're going to look for it and really try and put in the best effort possible. Within 8 minutes, it is theoretically possible, but they will have to play very, very uptight, but they do get the first headbutt here on the joust.
Headbutt off of the joust. Frisco Dragons look to break up the play, but the Sparrows are able to maintain possessions. Callan now handling the disc up on the ceiling, looking for a passing lane, tries to get that one down to B-Love, but the pass is just off, and it is going to be the Dragons who regain possession and get things cleared back over to the orange side. Looking for the stack race. It is going to be the Dragons who get a hand on it, but can't quite convert that one into points. Robbins gets it, slaps it back towards the middle, and finds Gio, who's walking up the middle alone and uncontested. Again, can't convert it into points, and we now have a loose disc over on the far side. Slapped back into the bubble by the Dragons. Can't connect on the subsequent pass, though. Ultimately, they're going to set this one back to Baby True, collect themselves, and look to set up that offense as B-Love brings pressure in the midfield. Pass is clean to Gio, though, who works it off a double diamond, finds Spy over on the right shoulder. One more pass from Spy over to Robbins, who's diving to the goal and puts that in for two.
Yeah, and for the side of the Sparrows, I mean, that was their defense. You could see that there were two members just on the nest because I believe they were floating back and trying to look to create some pressure using a regrab stack in their own defensive zone, but they just get caught out as there were already multiple members inside the bubble. The setup looked really good, looked really clean, and they were able to get the score, and perhaps another turnover here. B-Love does look to try to collect it, but Gio will get there first.
And they kept two players at nest for the joust. That still wasn't enough as they turned that one over yet again. They do now collect it, try and get it slapped out, but it's Robbins who's able to collect things over on the ceiling, working it up towards the midfield, finds Robbins on the near side, but B-Love picks the pocket, gets the possession back for the Aspen Arrows, looks for an opportunity to clear, can't quite get it through the midfield, but Callan gets a hand on it, sends it into the bubble. Stack is there, but missed the disc, and we now have it back in the hands of the Dragons. Looking to set something up. They clear it over to the far side where Spy is alone, sends that one forward. Callan now back on defense, recollects the disc, looks to send it forward, but once again, Gio is in the right place at the right time in the midfield, takes the long shot, just denied though there as Callan is able to get back, get a hand on that one before it looked like it was going to bank in, at least from my angle. Cannot get it fully cleared out though, and it's going to be the Dragons who regain and retain possession, now looking to set up that offense with 5 minutes to go here in the fourth. Sparrows do get a steal off of that loose disc, though. They get things over onto the blue side, looking to get the offense set up. Looks like maybe that was intended to be a reset pass, but nobody home to collect that one. Instead, it's going to be Gio who was waiting on the near side ceiling. Nate tries to come in and stun out, but Gio gets the better. Both of these teams just looking to grab a possession here and do something with it. Nate Appleton grabs the disc, but quickly a chain is on him, stuns him out, and it's going to be the Dragons who regain possession. They now have a stack on the far hand side, looking to bring it up the right tunnel. Looking to bounce it in off of the ceiling is Robbins, and it does ultimately end up in the hands of Spy, who puts it in for another 2 points. We've now got a 28-point lead with just 4 minutes to go in the match.
Yeah, and that was a tough angle for Spy to shoot from, but still finds the bottom of the net regardless. Fantastic angle, and really just looking to expand their lead. Perhaps have the goal of a 60-point game in their eyes, but still that 12 points out from trying to hit that.
12 points out. News for Astia in the chat. Time of possession right now favoring the Dragons. They are holding 63% of the disc time right now. This possession, though, is in the hands of the Sparrows. B-Love passes out along the ceiling to Callan, who cuts down for a 2-pointer, getting the Aspen Sparrows up to 22 points for the match.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, Callan getting set up there by B-Love. They are really showing the signs of life and the things that we were hoping that we could see from them before, but coming in this fourth quarter a little bit late, but still good to see that they have these plans in mind. And now a great pick there, showing a little bit of the own medicine to the Dragons there. So Callan, finally, after getting the having the steals taken from him and the interceptions taken from him all the time, finally gets one back of his own.
Taste of the own medicine, indeed. Nice goal there. 3 points. Gets them to 25 total. Now, with another opportunity that time, Robbins is able to duck the attacking stack and gets it over to the far side. Gio maintaining possession, looking for somewhere to pass. That pass is going to sail just past back towards the orange bubble where B-Love is able to collect just south of the shield. Looks to get it over to Glass, but it passes off of the mark back into the hands of the Dragons. Gio now working it up the far side, finds Baby True up on the ceiling, passing it back to Robbins at double diamond. They are looking to spread out the bubble, looking to draw out that defense. Baby True now with the disc, working it towards Nest. B-Love looks to dive and get a steal, but can't do so as the Dragons ultimately maintain possession here. Robbins now working it, gets it over to the left post where Baby True does a slingshot for another 2 points from 6 meters out. They've now doubled up the Aspen Sparrows total. It is 50-25 with 2 minutes to go.
Okay, so the Aspen Sparrows defense looking a little bit more locked down, a little bit better. And on the top of the Dragons here, so again, showing the signs of life and really showing that they can play this well. And actually looking for the QB change here is B-Love trying to get into Callan, but it will be loose. Callan does recover, but instead stolen here by Robbins. The 3-point shot is just on. I mean, this guy does not miss very often. And again, it's just the 3-point bomb off the turnover time and time again. We've seen it so far in this game. And yeah, here it is. It rears its dragon head yet again.
Rears its head once again. 53-point total now. B-Love taking this disc off of Nest, able to get up to the ceiling, gets away from the attack, brings it over to the far side tunnel, looking to work it up, draw out the defense just a bit. He has gathered the attention of the defense, though he cannot get rid of the disc before Robbins collects it on the far side, takes the long three, and sinks it from 22 meters out for another 3 points.
If I'm to understand correctly, I'm pretty sure Robbins called bottom pocket on that one. I don't think that was just a trying to make a shot to make a shot. I think he intentionally tried to call for bottom pocket on that and places it there excellently.
Yes, indeed. B-Love trying to be patient with that one, just held on the disc a little bit too long, and Robbins makes them pay. It's now the Sparrows with 30 seconds to play, dumping it into the bubble, and Glass is going to find the bank open as he sends that one in for another 2 points for the Aspen Sparrows.
Yeah, nice little play there, just off the backboard. Your member in Glass beats the defender, so is able to get the nice rebound shot off, and of course punishing that there is no goalie back.
No goalie back. They are just going to slap this one forward, and that is going to bring us to the end of the match. 56-27. The Frisco Dragons walking away victorious. They were hitting absolutely on all cylinders here, Glean, as we get into our post-game stats here and take a look at what just happened. Quite a dominant performance is what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, that defensive transition to offense in that first half, it showed up a little bit in the second half, but mostly that first quarter. Absolutely brutal and really tough for the Sparrows to answer to.
Yes, indeed. And we got the question in the chat. We were talking about time of possession. That ultimately went 60% in the Dragons' favor. Again, just the consistent ability to create turnovers in the midfield and then maintain possession, set up the offense for high-scoring opportunities. Just too much of an onslaught to overcome for the Aspen Sparrows. If we could give a player of the match to midfield defense, I would. Glean, unfortunately, we have got to pick one player, and we saw several players really bring their best game to this match. What do you see taking a look here at the stats?
Actually, off that thought, I am actually going to give it to Robbins myself. I know Baby True has the most points on the board, but from what I understood and from what I saw, Baby True, while setting up the teammates, it felt like he was on the receiving end of most of the passes, just in the right place at the right time with the cuts. But Robbins, both defensively and offensively, impressed me with the long three-point bombs, the stalwart midfield defense, and really getting those interceptions quite well. So in my eyes, it's Robbins all the way.
Yeah, that's true. And like I said, I think if I could, I would just give it straight up to the midfield defense. But more often than not, it seemed like we were singing the praises of Robbins, getting it done in the midfield, getting 17 points of his own, but having a lot to do with Baby True's 23 points as well. So Baby True's strong offensive performance there, but really to all four players in the match for the Frisco Dragons, hats off to you for what you were getting done in the midfield. But I think you're right. If I had one name to pick that I think we called the most, it was Robbins. Getting the interceptions, setting up the offense, scoring himself, or you can see 5 assists there, getting it to teammates and putting them in position to score. So we're going to give the Holzhauer Auto and Motorsports Stuntman Trophy Player of the Match going to Robbins. Congrats to you. And with that, we are going to take a quick break here as we look for our third and final AAA match of the night, which will be the Chattanooga Barracudas taking on the Daytona Tide. We'll be back with that action here at the top of the hour. Do not go far. We'll be right back. NEPA TV and our continued coverage of our Week 4 Tuesday night action. We have seen two great AAA matchups so far tonight. Glean, we are now getting set up for our nightcap. It is going to be Chattanooga Barracudas. That's a mouthful. Have fun with that, Glean. And the Daytona Tide. Looking for a really, really good matchup here. Take a look at our rosters. Tell the people what they can expect.
All right, so first off, we will be starting here with, I believe it will be the Chattanooga Barracudas. And there they are showing up as we look at their roster being, as I bring it up here in front of me, sorry, it will be Ascend, Thunderfoot, Vacant, Tamba, and Billy Brickwall. Now I know Vacant and Billy Brickwall being pretty good defensive goalies and players, but of course when you have members like Ascend and Tamba and Thunderfoot, all great offensive players in their own right as well, and we were looking for this team to be pretty well offensively oriented. This team coming in so far at a 2-1 record, they had their only loss came in that first week. So they're looking at a 2-win streak right now and feeling pretty good about their odds, I would imagine.
Yeah, strong lineup indeed. You know that they are going to bring it all. Let's take a look over in blue tonight for the Daytona Tide, coming in at 1-2 on the season. Glean, take us through the roster.
Yeah, so most importantly, that first win actually coming last week on Tuesday. So they are coming off that first win of the season, feeling pretty good. We got Voodoo, Jack G, Goku UI, Arch, and Rip Red. Now, this team, I can tell you right now, strong offense. I've known Voodoo to be a very, very athletic player, being able to really get those hops off. I think there's an iconic play out there where he was able to jump from basically the ceiling all the way to that top pocket of the goalpost in about 2 jumps. So rather impressive. As we then go through the list, Jack G, a fantastic shooter and always looking to set up the teammates, and Rip Red also a fantastic shooter and really looking to set up teammates. I can expect a lot of offense coming out from this team, and really hopefully seeing some great plays come from them.
Yeah, great plays indeed. We are going to get these teams readied up, get into our third match action. But first, I need to talk about Easter eggs. Everybody loves a good Easter egg. It's something that you don't know where it is, and you search for it. And then when you find it, you get rewards. Well, that's exactly what NEPA is lining up for the season. Every commercial that we run pre, during, post game is going to have an Easter egg in it. You've got a job to do. You're going to write down what the Easter egg is. You're going to write down what commercial it is in. And then we are going to tell you when the sign-up form is ready. If you have all of that information available because you watched said commercials and wrote it down, you are going to fill out that form to be entered into a giveaway that is worth a $250 gift basket plus another $100 in cash. Watch the matches, write down the Easter eggs, write down the commercial they were in, and get ready for that form to get released so that you can be part of this exciting opportunity. Don't miss out. And with that, we are getting teams readied up. We are going to be getting into the action for our third game of play for the night. Daytona Tide representing the Orlando Cyclones organization at the AAA level, taking on your Chattanooga Barracudas. Let's see what we've got. We are in the tunnel. We are ready for the action. Let's go. Let's go. And with that, we are underway.
That one almost went in. It looks like it will be a stun out here. Or, sorry, not quite. Rip Red picking this one up and sending it over to Jack G. So maybe trying to slow things down. No, they immediately opt for a pass, but that one will go a little bit astray. Picked up here by Goku UI and sent down to Rip Red. Rip Red looking for the shot. What a save there by, I believe it was Tamba. Great save inside the goal and trying to get that one cleared. Does get it to the mid zone, but immediately picked up here by Goku UI, trying to get this back for the side of the Tide.
Yeah, back in the side of the Tide, indeed, they are looking to get that offense set up. It is going to be Jack G who works it along the floor. Now finds Goku over at the left shoulder, able to put that one in for the first 2 points of the match. Daytona Tide with the early lead.
Indeed, looking strong here as they were able to maintain most of the offensive pressure and do a fantastic job in doing so. So now we'll see the first offensive response here for the other side, for the Barracudas, as they are looking on their rollout here.
Barracudas on the rollout, get it over to Thunderfoot, but cannot get the pass off cleanly before Rip Red gets the interception. And just like that, Esen gets an interception of his own. We got a little bit of back and forth going here as the Tide are going to dump it down into the bubble. It's going to be a stack race to see who can get back. It's going to be Thunderfoot who gets a hand on it, looking for an avenue to clear this out, get it out of the bubble. Cannot find said avenue, and Rib Red with the interception just at the bubble and then turning it into 2 points now, stretching the Tide leads to 4.
Yeah, and there, Rip Red doing a little bit of fancy work, working that one inside the bubble. And so far, looking really good here for the Tide. Nothing to mention really that's going wrong for the Barracudas. I think it's just been a couple of bounces in the way things have gone so far in the pace of the game.
Yeah, pace of the game indeed as Thunderfoot collects this one and now works it up the near side, resets it back to Easend, who is going to look to find a passing lane, finds Thunderfoot again Billy now on the near side, gets it over to Vacan, who's going to work it down off of the floor, ultimately electing to reset it back to Easend. Really patient offense here for the Barracudas, trying to set up a high probability opportunity, but an errant pass there is going to end up in a turnover instead. Voodoo tries to clear it out, can't get it cleanly through the tunnel, recollects himself, looks to send it in, but Billy Brickwall is there to be the brick wall, intercept that pass, and get things turned back around. Now we're back in the midfield with a Tide possession, gets it over to Voodoo, looking to shake and bake, try and find a clean passing lane, but the pass is off the mark. Billy with another interception there, sends it in, looking for the mail slot, can't quite get it home. Little bit of a scrum going on inside the bubble, and at the end of the day, after an exciting exchange there, Rip Red gets the hand on it, gets it cleared out, back over to the orange side. Loose disc here in the midfield. It's going to be Jack G who gets a hand on it, wisely back pass to Rip Red, who finds Voodoo up at the ceiling, now looking to set up the bubble offense. Passes a little bit off the mark. We've seen a lot of that here as these teams settle into their nerves a little bit here early in the corner. Rip Red now with the disc, gets it over to Goku. Goku looking to work it off the left shoulder, tries to send it into the bubble, but intercepted and cleared out by the Barracudas. Now looking to set up some offense, but the clear is not clean, so Jack G gets a hand on it. Now maintaining possession is the Daytona Tide. Rip Red working it off the shoulder, finds the right post, and off of that right post, able to send it in for another 2 points. Now a 6-point advantage for the Daytona Tide.
Yeah, and when given the space, Rip Red will drive that all day, working it up from the midfield. No defenders really try and come and pressure him, so he opts for the open shot and says, "Thank you very much. I will drive this one in all by myself."
Drive it in indeed. Easend send this one, tries to get into the bubble, unfortunately finds the shield instead, but they do maintain possession over on the Barracuda's side, and ultimately Thunderfoot able to send that one home for 2 points, getting the Barracudas on the board.
Nice. Yeah, so great recovery there. The initial clear works out very well, although it does go astray and no one's able to pick it up initially. It does eventually fall into their hands, and with the man advantage, they were able to pressure and put in their first couple of points.
First couple points, and now a joust advantage for the Daytona Tide. It's going to be Jack G's passing over to Voodoo. Voodoo now finding Goku. Goku bringing it up the middle, looking for a pass, elects to reset back to Jack G. They are spreading out the defense to the best of their ability. Jack G is going to find Voodoo open on the far side ceiling, brings it in for a shot, but cannot connect as the defense is there to deny. But they do maintain possession there off of the ricochet. Jack G now with the disc, looking for Voodoo up at the ceiling. Voodoo gets it back to the shield. Jack G with a hand on the disc, looking to bring it in, and bring it in he does for another 2 points. Jack G now stretches the lead 8-2 with 2 minutes to go in the first.
Yeah, and there's the opposite side of defense and why offense is so strong. So both two defenders jump out at Jack, but just as they jump out at him, he's already moving past them towards the goal to try and get that closer opportunity. So they put so much pressure on. And here again, pressure Jack G with a steal. Voodoo now handling it and sends it over to Rip Red. But now with this man advantage, 3v2, the two defenders do get back, but Jack looking to try and drive this one in, does so. Oh, instead the dig.
Oh, Jack with a nice move off a shield there. Tries to duck and dive, but can't connect at the end of the day. But they do maintain possession. They're continuing to work it inside the bubble, and Voodoo finds Rip Red behind the goal for 2 points. 10-2 now with 90 seconds to go in the first.
Yeah, and I mean, they just leave the member open. Rip Red, after sending the pass to Voodoo, just rotates to the backside, that backboard, and no one looks to cover him, even though they just saw him put the pass off. So just open and available to take that shot.
Open and available. Here we see the Barracudas looking to set up their offense. Isen gets the disc, tries to get it over to the far side tunnel, but another midfield stop for the Tide. Gets it back into the orange bubble. They're now looking to collect the disc. Voodoo ultimately does. He's working it off of the ceiling. Cannot find a pass, though, before it is slapped away. Barracudas try to get it cleared out, cannot do so. We now see the disc being handled over on the left post, dinged off of the goal. Cannot convert, but again, the Daytona Tide showing the ability to maintain possession. It's now Jack G working it off the floor, ultimately off the pass from Rip Red, getting another 2 points on the board. Barracuda's doing I don't know, can I call it a good job when they're giving up points? Like, they're doing a good job of defending inside the bubble, but they can't get the clears. They can't turn defense into offense, and the Daytona Tide are able to maintain that offensive set, and they get another 2 points on the board. They've stretched the lead now to double digits at 10.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right that they're doing a great job in stopping them inside the bubble. It's just that when you allow these rebounds to keep happening and you allow them to set up time and time again, eventually the percentages will work out in their favor. If a person has a shooting percentage of say 75%, eventually they're going to make 3 out of 4, right? So even if they miss once, even if they miss twice, if they get the rebound, they're eventually going to make it in. And although they're holding them the first couple of times, allowing them to get those rebounds just increases those odds of them scoring it time and time again. And we've seen it really balloon this lead.
You are right, and we have increased the odds for the opportunity to watch a commercial. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Harley-Davidson builds bikes that are meant to ride. There are vehicles your parents would recommend you drive. Then there are the motorcycles your crazy uncle who gave you fireworks for your birthday tells you to ride. You wouldn't want to let your uncle down, would you? If your need is speed, chrome, and custom paint, check out all of the new and pre-owned bikes at Greenmount Road Harley-Davidson in O'Fallon, Illinois. Don't let your uncle down. Get to Greenmount.
Go claim your Pro app. Austin Burners is a secret word. Back to the action. Let's go. And we are back into the action here, getting into the second quarter with a 12-2 lead for your Daytona Tide. They maintain possession off of this initial joust in the second quarter. They're looking to set up the bubble offense once again. All 8 players now crowded in and around the bubble, a congested bubble. Looking for a passing lane is Rip Red. He cannot connect on the cross, however, and it's going to be the Barracudas who get things cleared out. We're now back onto the blue side with Goku maintaining dispossession. Stunned out, though, does not get a clean clear before that stun. We now see a shot that dings just off of the frame. The best goalie in the league makes yet another save, and it's now the Daytona Tide looking to get things cleared out. They maintain possession, now get a pass forward. Pass is just off the mark, though, cannot connect. Loose disc collected by Rip Red just outside the bubble on the far side, and ultimately elects to reset back to Voodoo. Voodoo now finding Rip Red up on the right shoulder and coming off of the shoulder as Rip Red for another 2 points, stretching the lead to 14-2.
Yeah, and we've seen this again and again. The open man just creates the opportunity. Rip Red isolated on that top shoulder there. Just able to find an easy dive in on an angle on the goalie and score that one.
Scores that one now. Eason looking to set up the Barracuda offense. Gets things over to the right tunnel. They clear it into the blue bubble. Loose disc now on the far side, collected by Thunder. Thunder looks to get the pass over, but it is intercepted and cleared out. The Daytona Tide now on the offense. We've got a stack race into the bubble. Who can get to it first? It's going to be Thunderfoot who collects it. He's going to look to clear it into the near side tunnel. Continuing to progress over onto the blue side. Goku gets a slap out there, and Rip Red able to get the possession back for the Tide. They now look to swing things back over. Oh, and what a slap pass there by Rip Red to quickly get it over to Voodoo, who gets the opportune bounce for 3 points, stretching the lead 17-2.
Yeah, and the defender's just a little bit slow to get back. You can see that they tried to stretch the hand out to get the grab on it, but just a little too late on that one.
A little too late. Easend again going to take the disc. He's going to work it up. It looks like the far side, looking to drag out the stack, and he does, able to get the pass down to Thunderfoot. Thunderfoot looks to send it into the bubble, but unable to do so as Goku is there to make the interception, get the possession back into the Daytona Tide's favor. Jack G now gets the pass over. Goku getting the disc in the trench on the offensive side, sends it back up to the ceiling. Voodoo now handling the disc, gets it back to the floor, and a nice dive there, but cannot connect, and the possession is going to change back into the Barracuda's favor. They look to get things cleared out, but they do not have a stack in position before Goku can get a hand back on it, and now looks to work it back forward. Working the near side tunnel now. We have a loose disc in the trap. Jack G is going to pick it up, quickly get it over to Voodoo, who finds the bank to be open. 3 points. We now have an 18-point lead. The Daytona Tide are on a slide. Barracuda's looking for some kind of an answer now in the second quarter, halfway through, only 2 points on the board, just trying to find something that will work for them offensively, Glean.
Yeah, and I see it being pointed out a little bit in the chat. I don't know if the orange side is cursed tonight, but it certainly has felt like the orange side has had a really tough time of getting the disc cleared. And here they go for the Joker train. It actually turns out and turning into a ding, so it will be a missed opportunity by the Daytona Tide here. But it just seems like, you know, if a team can't get the clear, I will always iterate this because this is one of the most fundamental things to understand in Echo, is that whoever controls the mid zone controls the pace of the game and how things operate from there. And so far, we've seen the Tide control it so very well that they've been able to get points just like that and really score quite easily, as well as shutting down the Barracudas.
Shutting them down, turning it into points. A wise timeout here. I think it is time to recollect. It is a 20-point lead. Still 3.5 to go in the second quarter. Plenty of time based on the NEPA format with the 8-quarter rolling score. But at some point, you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I think the Barracudas here are looking to regroup, kind of come up with a different answer. I am with you, Jucifer. I am tired of looking at orange. Not to take anything away from the teams that have played on the blue side tonight, but I feel like I've been staring at the orange bubble at least 60% of the time, if not more, tonight, Glean.
Yeah, it is certainly felt that way. Now, it is a little bit nice to be looking at the orange because it's almost like the nighttime version, a nighttime screen on your phone if you turn it to the nighttime mode where it turns a little bit darker and turns orange. But it certainly has been brutal for the orange teams the past couple of games so far this year. And, you know, this is why we preach the fundamentals of being able to get these clears through, or at least if you can get the pass to the clear, that is absolutely critical in any sense of the game.
Absolutely critical indeed, but also critical is just setting up your offense and kind of maintaining possession, being able to dictate the style of play. And so far, we've seen almost a 70-30 time of possession advantage for the Daytona Tide. really looking for the Barracudas to find a way to get into their offense, maintain disc possession, and put themselves into high-scoring opportunities. Thunderfoot now looking to work things up into the bubble. He gets the disc there, but there's no stack in position to take advantage of it before the Tide get it cleared back out. We now have a loose disc in the midfield looking to gain possession. Billy is going to walk away with that, looks to pass it to Thunderfoot, but just out of reach, and it's going to be Goku who gets a hand on it, back pass to Rip Red, who now sends it up into the near side trap. Voodoo's going to get the disc, look to take the quick shot, but the defensive stack is there. Great stop by Vacant, who gets it cleared back out. We now have it back into the midfield. Little bit of a scrum going on the far side for somebody looking to take possession. Voodoo is ultimately going to walk away with that possession. Now we see Jack G just making some sick moves there, coming off of the floor inside the bubble for 2 points.
I mean, is there much more to say than just highlight reel on that one? Jukes out multiple defenders, turns around, takes the backward shot. Not only is it just a shot, it's a slap shot as well. So just all of the highlight caliber things that you want inside of that play.
Yeah, Jack, expect a lot of medical bills for all those broken ankles. That was super, super impressive coming off the floor, but we're back into the action now, and it's going to be the Barracudas looking to set up an offense. They get it back to Vacant, who is now looking to look for a passing lane. He finds Thunder on the far side. It goes for the cross, but the cross does not connect. We now have a loose disc on the near side trap. Vacant able to collect, but quickly pressured by Rip Red. Rip Red gets the stun, and we see possession change back to the Tide to take the long shot. Cannot connect, but they do maintain possession as Voodoo now working it off for the ceiling and looking to get that offense set up. Jack G now working it on the far side, brings it back to the near side shoulder over to Rip Red, who works it off of the post, and it's Rip Red now looking to get onto the highlight reel with a 2-pointer working off of the left post.
Yeah, a little bit of rotation, throws the defender off, and a couple of jukes make sure that they stay on the pole while he can drive past. So good work there. And I am liking the discipline out here from the Tide. They are taking these nice high percentage shots and not going for anything too crazy despite being up a significant amount.
Yes, indeed, as Thunderfoot now maintains disc, tries to send it down the trench. The pass is going to be off of the mark, though, and we see yet another turnover. Back pass is going to end up with Voodoo, who sets up Rip Red, who's going to bring it up the far side tunnel, looking to win the 1v1, and does. Sends it into the orange bubble. They have a player there. 1v3, though. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. Jack G just making a personal highlight reel tonight. 1v3, swings that off of the far side post and sends that one in for another 2 points.
Yeah, brings it out, brings it back in, a little ring around the rosy, if you will, to send that one in. And it is looking like another just crazy performance here on the defensive end as Ripper gets that. Jack G gonna look for maybe some last minute or last second points. Oh, don't do him to it, Jack. Don't do it to him. My goodness. Another 31 here in that first half.
Wow. What an onslaught. Let's go to commercial. I got to catch my breath.
Hi, I'm Morgan Corman with Holzhauer's Pro Motorsports. Not only are we carrying more inventory than all other dealerships, we're blowing up their prices too. Cowboy Corman's back again, and this 4th of July, I got another 1,776 reasons for you to get back into Holzhauer's and get you a new unit to get out and enjoy the 4th of July weekend. Woo!
Holzhauer Auto and Motorsports in Nashville, Illinois.
Woo!
Mississippi putting it down. I'm the hottest round. I told y'all, y'all can't stop me now. Listen to me now. I'm lasting 20 rounds. And if you want me, then come on get me now. Is you with me now? The biggie bounce. I know you dig the way I switch my style. Holla, holla. freak on, get your 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 freak on.
All season long, NEPA will be issuing POAPs to anyone who shows up to live broadcasts and fills out the claim form. The form can be found at www.nepavrpro.com/NFT. Each week, we highlight a different franchise, and this week, that is the Austin Burners. But you need to show up each week in order to get all 16 teams. The more you collect, the more potential rewards you can unlock. You do have a deadline, though. Get her done before 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, July 3rd. And remember, the secret password for the week, which is so secret we put it on the screen, is Austin Burners. And with that, we will get into our halftime report brought to you by Big St. Charles Motorsports. Glean, lots to talk about. Very one-sided. What do you see here in the stats?
Yeah, I would say it's absolutely one-sided. We've been talking about it so much. Jack G really showing out here with a couple of highlight plays, but I mean, you also got to mention players like Voodoo, 4 assists, 8 points there. Rip Red, 10 points, 4 assists there. Between the three of them, Goku, who's been sitting on the back line for the most part, doesn't have to do all that much. Just sit back as that reset option. You let those three go to work, and man, oh man, can they make fireworks fly here as we're coming up in that 4th of July weekend. Of course, for the side of the Barracudas, they're really trying their best, but they really need to break through that mid. I cannot emphasize that enough, is that when you can't get through that mid zone of the arena, things become so tight for a team. And I think we're really seeing that here with Thunderfoot scoring the team's 2 points and, some good stuns across the board. But again, we are seeing primarily the side of the Tide getting the better stuns or getting the better opportunities to stun and then promote their own scoring opportunities from there.
Yeah, we talked a little bit while we were at commercial. It sometimes goes under-recognized or not talked about enough is the importance of the midfield defense. And I know we got jokes going in the Twitch stream chat. It's been all on the blue side tonight. That's by happenstance. Really what we saw earlier with the Frisco Dragons, we're seeing again with the Daytona Tide, is just a super effective midfield defense, creating opportunities. The Tide have that rolling all in their favor right now. They have time of possession rolling so much in their favor that they're just able to do pretty much whatever they want to do. The Barracudas are going to have to take advantage of this halftime to try and come up with something different, down 29 points now at half.
Yeah, I would absolutely hope so. I mean, they even took that timeout in that first half and still were just not able to get anything going, completely scoreless in that second quarter. You got to wonder about the mental game. All of the NEPA players have pretty strong mental game, and that's why they've been able to make it in this league so far. But with such a deficit, you really got to be able to have that mentality to be able to rally back, to say, we might be down so and so much, but we're not out of the game yet. There is still time to try and make this kind of comeback. And even if you don't make the comeback, even just putting on a good showing is always a great sign of good mentality and good mental fortitude from the players.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a long season. It is a 16-game season for both of these teams, so they're just looking for that positive to build off of, to continue to learn, to continue to get better. That's what the Barracudas talked about at halftime. Let's see what they came up with. We're ready to get underway with our second half action. Let's take it back to the arena. And we are off, and it is the Barracudas who get ahead on that initial joust. Get it into the bubble, but cannot get a string of passes together before the Tide get it back into the orange bubble. Now we have a loose disc inside that orange bubble. Ultimately, Jack G, though, who's looking to build that high right reel, gets a pass off inside the bubble. Little bit of a loose disc there. Voodoo in the right place at the right time as that one floats up to him inside the bubble. 4 meters out, gets another 2 points. Now 33 for the Daytona Tide.
Yeah, and that's tough. Slipping right past the hand of the goalie there. With that shot, Voodoo putting another couple of points to his name, and I'll be very interested to see which out of the three players on the side of the Tide comes out with the most points for their team. At this point, it might be a little bit of competition between the three of them.
Well, competition is good. It makes everybody better. Right now, the Barracudas looking to compete on the offensive end. They're trying to string together some offense, but Voodoo is ultimately going to get the pick up and get things cleared back into the orange bubble. Let's see what happens with the stack race. The defensive stack is there for the Barracudas. They get their goalie back, but they do not gain possession. Now with a reset pass back to Rip Red. Looking for Voodoo up on the ceiling. Voodoo looks to pass it in, but gets stunned out mid-throw, bounces off the top of the clock, but somehow Daytona Tide are still able to maintain possession, and Jack G with more theatrics to put 2 more points on the board.
And he doesn't even go for the top bucket because the goalie jumps out in that direction. He purposely swings that little bit wide to throw off the goalie and then goes down low to the bottom pocket, all the way around after a few jukes there. So Jack G really putting on a show.
Yes, indeed. Thunderfoot trying to find a show of his own to get the pass over, but the recipient is stunned out. Now coming out of trench is a long shot. Ends up just wide, but Jack G able to gain possession and ultimately finds Rip Red for another 2 points. Now up 35 with just under 6 minutes to go still in the third quarter.
And as much as he can do solo, he can also still distribute. Jack G finding Rip Red there on the post, setting him up for another couple of points.
Another couple of points again. The Barracudas just trying to find something. Oh. They take a little bit of a risk there on the rollout. It does not pay off. It ends up with an open goal for Goku, who has played the role perfectly tonight. Gets on the board with a 3-pointer there. Goku happy to sit back, watch these 3 other players continue to score. That time finds himself in the opportune position for a 3-pointer.
Yeah, and just trying to get the rollout to work at all. These midfield passes, they look like they're pretty good, but the players just aren't able to receive them now. As that shot comes in, Ascend sitting at that bow tie was very smart, so able to get the recovery here and perhaps some points as Billy takes the shot, does sink it. So there is something, at least the first points they've had since that first quarter.
And their first points of the first half, indeed. Nice shot there from Billy Brickwall. It all was started, though, by Easend, like you said, being on an opportune position, makes the interception, and gets the pass forward to Billy, who's able to capitalize. So now Jack G is going to handle the disc off of the offensive joust. Stringing together passes now into the far side tunnel. Voodoo is going to get it up on the ceiling, get stunned out, but gets the pass away successfully to Goku, who now resets it back to Shield. Rip Red working it off of Shield. Jukes 1-2, I don't know, and then beats the goalie for another 2 points, 42-5. Just an offensive onslaught right now for the Daytona Tide.
Yeah, and the placement on that was super nice as well. Goes straight for the pocket, cross side. Goalie can't really reach there. It's super hard to get all the way over to that pocket. So well placed, well shot, and continuing to looking to continue the streak here.
Yeah, who wants to play the Tide right now?
Not me. I'm
no, I didn't hear anything. Yeah. They are absolutely getting everything done. Bounce shot there by Thunderfoot is going to be just off the mark, but it looks like that the Barracudas are going to maintain possession as Billy Brickwall grabs that loose disc over on the far side, resets it now back to Easend. Easend on the cut, diving shot, but Goku there in position to make the stop and get things back cleared out. Daytona Tide now on the offense. Open goal. Defensive stack tried to get there, but not in time. Voodoo able to sneak that one in for another 3 points, stretching this lead to 40.
Yeah, I think Billy was trying to make a guess as to where that one was going to be placed, and unfortunately just getting it a little bit wrong. You can see they looked down at the direction where they thought the disc was going to be and tried to make the grab, but it ended up being on the opposite side of the goal, so a bit unfortunate there. And another pick here in the midfield. Rip Red with that. Oh, but a great grab there by Essen, knowing that shot might come in, dives out of position, and manages to get that one.
Essen with a nice interception there, gets it over to Tamba. Tamba now working it over to Billy. Tamba bringing it up the center. Currently uncontested. Has Voodoo, though, on the other side of the geode, so makes a quick dump into the bubble to try and get rid of that one. Unfortunately, Goku is going to beat Billy to the disc and look to clear it out. Jack G gets the pass, sends it through the midfield. It bounces off of Geo. We now have a loose disc. It's going to be the Tide who collect it on the far side. Billy Brickwall, though, gets back, makes the stop, clears it out, and we are over onto the blue side of the arena as he dumps that one into the bubble. Goku, like all game long, though, sitting back, waiting to make that catch, and does, gets it forward, and now we're right back to the orange bubble. That one's going to bounce off of the shield. Billy looking to collect the disc, does, tries to send it out through the center, does so, but guess what? Goku right back where Goku needs to be. Gets this one back into the hands of the Tide, who look to bring it back on the offensive side. Defensive stack is there, gets the stun, gets the disc. Billy sending this one forward. Barracuda's trying to find anything going on defense, but just cannot get it through the midfield as Voodoo makes another stop there. Now going to bounce off of the ceiling. We do have an empty goal for Billy, as Billy is able to collect that one off of the ceiling and send it in for an 8-meter three-pointer. 8 points now on the board for the Barracudas.
Yeah, the Barracudas playing a little bit more to their mid zone now and able to get some stops in. We saw Essend not only get the grab in that backfield position, but also managed to get it towards the mid side of the arena, which set up that play because of the interception. So looking to continue to lock that space down might be the play here, or it probably is the play here for the Barracudas, continuing to just get that possession there.
And it looks like the Daytona Tide have brought Arch into the arena. It looks like it is Goku who is sitting back right now, making that live substitution. Open goal. Billy not able to get the disc in time to take advantage of that, but he does get it in time to find Thunderput for 2 points there. Gets the Barracudas up to 10 points on the match with just a couple of seconds to play here coming out of the tube in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're definitely coming to life, and it looks like Tamba has come in over the past couple of minutes for the Barracudas and has not really made an impact necessarily on the board, but it seems like it has changed the dynamic of this team overall and perhaps set them up a little bit better as they've been able to get some points on the board in this third quarter.
And again, finding that little bit of momentum is so important. We're going to get some momentum from our sponsors, and we will be right back for our fourth quarter action.
If you really want to find out what you're made of, you can forget the personality tests and social media quizzes. Because the only way you're ever going to know is by heading into the big, wild, raging, so damn beautiful it hurts world and finding out for yourself. Were you born to follow a path, or were you born free? These are the things we thought about when we made the new Grand Cherokee. Made for what you're made of.
NEPA is going Web3 and will be issuing NFTs as a way to reward the community. Anyone who claims one of these NFTs will be eligible for future raffles and giveaways that will be conducted throughout the year. They're free to claim. All you have to do is fill out the form at nepavrpro.com/NFT. We've got some great stuff planned. You do not want to miss out. Get over there. Be like the winners of our previous raffles who have won some awesome prizes. We are getting into the fourth quarter now, with the Chattanooga Barracudas trailing the Daytona Tide 10-45. Let's get to our fourth quarter action. And they are out on the neutral joust. It is going to be the Tide who get to the disc. They maintain possession off of that, and they are going 2v1, but dinging it off of the frame, sending it back out. It is now going to be Tamba, who is indeed in the match here in the fourth quarter. Looks to send that one forward. A little bit of a scrum here as both teams scramble for the disc in a near side trap. Ultimately, the Tide are going to walk away with the disc. Goku with possession, working it up the far side now. Tide again looking to set up their bubble offense, but Goku is going to take it in on the 1v1 and slam it home for another 2 points. It is now 47-10 with 7 minutes to go in the fourth.
Yeah, when you beat the defender like that, you don't necessarily need to set up that cross pass. Goalie doesn't dive out. Goku says, thank you. I'll just walk right up and place it right in that pocket. Doing a little bit of the reverse of the steal. Instead of picking the pocket, putting it in the pocket, but now picked up here by Jack G in the mid zone and looking for a little bit of Joker train here.
A little bit of Joker train, but it does not pay off. It's going to end up in a turnover. Barracuda send it back over to the blue side, trying to get a stack together. Thunderfoot is there but can't get a stack going, and ultimately the Tide are going to end up with possession in their own bubble. Loose disc now on the far side. Players are scrambling for it. Ultimately, Billy's going to walk away with it and find Thunderfoot down at the floor. Tries to send it into the bubble, does indeed, and Billy Brickwall, after that defensive stop, finds his way into the bubble to collect the assist by Thunderfoot for a two-pointer for the Barracudas.
Yeah, Billy's been a nice bright spot for the Barracudas here as of late, really putting the offensive pressure on his back and taking that load as he's been able to score a 3 and a couple of 2s to really try and get some points back in this game so far.
Yeah, looking for any highlight that you can find right now. The Barracudas just looking for something to build off of there. They have a turnover, but the Shield plays to their advantage twice as the Tide look to score a couple of long threes, but the Shield is going to get in the way. Now the Tide maintain possession and look to set up that offense. Thunderfoot there, though, to make the interception, gets it cleared out, sends it down to the blue bubble where the defensive stack will find its way back. Voodoo with possession. Tied up 47-12, happy to take their time. They wait for this stack and then make the pass. Now they're looking to pass it across the arena and just maintain possession. Barracuda's doing everything they can to bring pressure. They bring 3 players forward, but that is going to leave Jack G now open on the floor, but his pass is off to Goku. Barracuda's back in possession, looking to get things cleared back over to the blue side. Barracudas get it over to Thunderfoot, who takes the long 3, cannot connect, but Tamba in position to collect. They now have 14 points on the board.
Yeah, it's good to get the rebound and make sure that you secure the 2, but that's gotta hurt. Trying to hit that 3 and taking it nice and slow, but still just not able to lock in the accuracy, and that's something that we've seen a few times. Whether it be the clear, whether it be the shots, just the accuracy is just that little bit off tonight, and just not quite able to dial it in here. But dialing in is that stack, and now trying to find something. No, the bounce will be a bit unfortunate for them.
Yeah, it looked like they had a stack in position, but the bounce wasn't where they needed to be. Billy Brickwall, though, has been doing work all night, able to get the disc over to Thunderfoot, who works it off the ceiling. East End on the right post and gets a cross over to Billy Brickwall for 2 points. They've now scored 2 in a row and have 16 points on the board.
Yeah, I like finding this hot hand. They know that Billy's been the one that's sinking the shot so far, so continue finding him, continue placing the disc in his hands to make sure that you get a few more points on the board, and that's nice, unselfish play that we're seeing here from the Barracudas.
Yes, indeed, and now we see the Daytona Tide back on the offense as Goku is going to collect this one, bring it over to the near side, just outside the bubble, looking for a pass. That pass is going to be just off, ends up on the far side wall. Both teams looking to gain possession of the disc. Billy, keep saying his name, able to get connection, though, sends it down into the blue bubble, and the stack is in position, and guess who it is? Billy getting her done once again for the Barracudas with another 2 points, brings their total up to 18, just over 3 minutes to play here in the match.
Yeah, the Tide just aren't getting the disc out of their hands fast enough, and willing to punish are the Barracudas, all getting down the field so quickly. In order to get that score. Billy and Tamba with that stack, so mobile, it seems like so far, and really just trying to claw their way back into this one. It might be late from that first round score, but again, to punish here on that backstack, Ascend and Tamba really looking connected here as they take that in, and Tamba scores it.
Tamba scores it, 3 goals in a row. This is just the kind of momentum that a team looks to build off of going into their next match. Obviously, going into the fourth quarter at an insurmountable lead. But again, you continue to try and get better. You try and learn from the circumstance, change things up, bringing Tamba into the game. And it looks like that's paying off here in the fourth quarter. They're finding a little bit of something. They're up to 20 points for the match. Goku now with the disc. Resets it back to Jack G, who sends it all the way over to the far side of the arena, who then sends it back to the near side left shoulder. Voodoo, though, unable to connect as the goalie makes a great stop there, denies the goal. And now we have a battle for a loose disc over on the near side tunnel. Ultimately, the Tide are going to walk away with the possession. Voodoo back over on the left side, crosses it over. And the bank shot for Goku is going to end up just wide, but once again, the Daytona Tide able to collect and maintain possession. They're setting up the bubble offense now And Voodoo is going to work that one off of the far side wall back into the goal for another 2 points off of a bounce shot.
Yeah, nice angle. Takes it down low, faking the dunk actually, because they know that Voodoo can be a dunk threat. So the goalie dives out low, but instead just takes the bounce shot off the backboard and goes high with it and scores that point rather easily for him.
Rather easily indeed, but here we see another successful transition over to the blue side of the arena for the Barracudas. Unable to connect, though, gets slapped out. Now there's a fight for possession. The stack for the Daytona Tide is in the right place, though. They get it cleared over to the orange side. Open goal is going to go missed there on the three-pointer, and Billy Brickwall looks to get things moving back in the Barracudas' direction. He's going to send it over and into the bubble, but nobody home able to collect that one. Goku, who seems to have been in the right place at the right time all night on the defensive side, gets it pushed back forward to Voodoo. Now looking to set up the offense with Rip Red working it off of the far side ceiling. Sends it back to Voodoo on the near side. Looked like he tried to make a cross there, but the pass does not connect. But once again, the loose disc is going to fall back into the hands of the Daytona Tide. We are inside of 30 seconds here with Jack G getting another 2 points on the board. They are now at 51, and that should bring us to a close here as we'll only have a couple of seconds here coming out of the final tube.
Yeah, very dominant showing here from the Tide, really putting on a performance, at least in the first half, very defensive performance that was able to transition into the offense. But overall, the offensive showing from them has just been dominant, whether it be their solo play, their passing play. They really were looking fantastic here tonight.
Yeah, looking fantastic and indeed, and just an overall dominant performance. Going up with 51 points are the Daytona Tide. Hats off to the Barracudas. They did everything that they could to try and stay in this one, but at the end of the day, the Tide was just too strong, and they couldn't fight against it. So really, really nice job here. Glean, take us through our end-of-match stats.
Yeah, some might say the Riptide carried them away, but I mean, we were looking at double-digit scores from multiple members here of the Tide. We're looking at 15 for Voodoo, 15 for Jack, 14 for Rip Red. A lieu of assists, 21 total, as Jack G and Rip Red both hold 7. Steals across the board, and although Goku's stats don't look that impressive, remember, Goku just had to sit on that back line, just had to sit way far back, could just sit practically at his own bow tie and just let the other 3 members of his team just go to work and really perform. So, the 3 of them doing so much work. Goku takes it easy tonight, but certainly can show up when the time requires it. As we take a look at the side of the Barracudas, Billy Brickwall, I mean, we said his name time and time again, really took the brunt of that offensive load and put it on his back, trying to make things work for his team, and really scored a number of points there down the stretch, 12 points in total for him as we look at Ascend with 3 assists, 1 steal, and 5 saves. So doing a good job in that backline and kind of that midfield zone, doing quite well. As Billy, I neglected to mention, also did a great defensive option, or was a great defensive option as well. Tamba coming in, later on into the game, still scoring 4 points, looking great, and Thunderfoot 4 points, 2 assists as well. So some good showings here from the side of the Barracudas, but I mean the Tide just carried them away, like you said.
Yeah, they certainly did, and I'm really impressed looking at the Tide stats. Look at how even that scoring is. 15, 15, 14. Goku did such a great job playing that back line, like you mentioned. Still gets 7 points on they're taking advantage of the opportunities that were presented, but just really overall consistent team play. Super impressive from the Tide, which makes it really, really difficult to choose a favorite. But, we're not choosing favorites. We're just choosing a player of the match, Glenn. They can all be your favorite. But at the end of the day, Holtzauer Stuntman has to be awarded to someone. Who's your player of the match?
For me, it's Jack G. I mean, we're looking at... For this, I have to look purely off numbers because Voodoo, Jack G, and Rip Red all did great and all had highlight reel plays in their wheelhouse in this game. But purely off stats, Jack G with 15-7, 1 steal, and the 30 stuns just look mighty impressive to me. And really, even though didn't necessarily get all the highlight plays, was certainly a facilitator in a number of them.
I can't argue better than you already argued yourself in that we could give out 3 of these. Honestly, we could give out 4 because Goku played his role, and sometimes role players don't get recognized. So I don't want to take anything away from any of these players. Like, Goku played his role. He let the others score. He played the back line, took advantage of his opportunities. But honestly, Daytona Tide just firing on all cylinders tonight. I'm not going to argue with you. It was a landslide victory for the Daytona Tide. Jack G, you're going to go home with the stunt man. Holtzauer, Player of the Match Award. Congratulations to you and your virtual trophy. Thanks to all of our viewers for being here. We had 3 great matches tonight. We saw the Columbus Fire beat the Charlotte Smoke in our first match. The Frisco Dragons walked away with a win against the Aspen Sparrows. And here in our finale, it's going to be the Daytona Tide walking home to the victory. So thank you to all of the players who participated. We enjoyed the matches. Thank you to all of our fans who have tuned in. www.nepavrpro.com is where you want to be. There's all these great POAPs and NFTs and that kind of stuff. You do not want to miss out on all the fun stuff that NEPA is doing this season. Glean, I thank you. It has been a true pleasure. Week 4 is underway. Tune in tomorrow night as we get our Week 4 Pro Series matches underway. Glean, parting shots to our fans.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you for coming out, everyone. It was great. And we had some great games tonight. Although Orange is not cursed, we will say that. Orange looking to make a comeback later this week.
That's right. Tune in throughout the week to find out if Orange can make a comeback. That's all I got tonight. Thanks to Muted on the cams and doing all the great production stuff as always. And thanks for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow, same time, for 3 great pro matchups. Be there. See ya.